welcome to the first episode of Flagrant 2, analysis by assholes, no easy buckets of 2018.
Yep.
I'm very excited to be back.
Yes,
I'm exhausted. I just got on a flight this morning at 6:30 a.m. To come in here from Canada to record this for you people because I care about you people. And it was imperative that I got here on time. And
what are you getting at, sir?
I did everything I possibly could to get here on time from another country. I came from a sovereign nation, and I passed border control.
Yeah.
And I did it. I flew into LaGuardia. Have you guys flown into
Yeah,
LaGuardia?
LaGuardia's
it's a
right
bus
by my
stop.
house.
Wow. Yeah. So you have
It's
to
a Greyhound station.
Exactly. It's horrible. It's absolute. So you have to, which is so shocking that I made it here on time because when you fly here to LaGuardia, you get off and you can't just get an Uber pickup. You have to take a bus to an Uber section.
Yeah.
Then you get your Uber from that section, and then you come in.
Right. Yeah.
I've crossed multiple boroughs. I was in Queens today, Brooklyn, and Manhattan, and then I got here. And what was so weird when I got here was neither of you guys were here. And I was like, how is that possible since you guys are a
I don't
stone
know
throw
when we
away?
started demanding punctuality at this podcast. This is the first week. It's a big deal.
This is true. We're still kind of working at the kinks, but
I know I've been the first one here. I've been locked out of the room, and I've never been like, oh, I just think it's funny how you guys
When has
are.
Akaash ever been the first one here? And Akaash pulled the classic late shit
yeah.
where he tried to be like a good Samaritan.
It's like, oh, you guys want some food? And
Motherfucker,
drink?
20 minutes late, he sends a text. Y'all hungry? You want some food? You want some drinks? No, we want you to get 15 minutes less
That
sleep.
was my way
That's
to
what we
gauge
want.
if you guys were there. I thought Kaz might be like, nah, I'll just scoop something on the way, and then I'd be like, I bet.
He could have just asked. That's what he could have just. No, he was trying to manipulate us into liking him. Like you
Yeah.
thought that
You
text.
already like me.
I mean,
bullshit.
all right.
I just didn't want to say how late I was.
I like
in
you
case
in
y'all were later.
2017. You got clean slate. So far, you fucking up in
To
2018.
be fair, this only like just lets you know how shitty the MTA is because I left on time. Like
Right.
I left around like
I didn't.
8:39.
I know.
And like we got to Grand Central and we just sat there for like 20 minutes.
No
I'm just
way.
like, yeah, just terrible. I guess they said someone was sick on Bowling Green or whatever.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, that's the MTA. Anybody who's listening to this from New York could attest. So yes.
Hold on. So there was a guy who was just sick. He was just
They were like,
feeling
there's
bad.
a sick passenger on the Bowling Green station, and sorry for any inconvenience. So yes, you can beat somebody from another country to here instead of going from Harlem to Lower Manhattan.
God bless.
Yeah.
God bless.
God
I
bless
hope.
the MTA, man.
And I hope that guy feels better, man. I
Sure
really
he
hope
is.
that.
Hope it's just the runs or something. Not
Like,
something serious.
You know what? I would love the runs. I haven't taken a solid shit since I came back from Israel. It's a
Really?
big problem. Yeah, and Akaash can attest to this. That's how I know I'm not Jewish. It was like my body punishing me or something like that. Akaash and I live together. How often do I shit?
It's like 10 minutes after you eat. It's a medical marvel.
It is an irregularity.
But that's good though. You want to be able to shit consistently, though, huh?
Yeah, but now he's
I've
been robbed of that.
Never wanted anything more. They say when you go to Jerusalem, right?
Uh-huh.
They like you leave a part of you there. And I left my ability to take shits because
Oh,
I
fuck.
literally have not taken a solid shit. I swear to God in my life since 3 days into my trip to Israel. Right?
Yeah.
I've come back, haven't had a solid shit. I had an offer on the table to go to this girl's house.
In Jerusalem.
No, definitely not. I didn't get laid at all.
Okay, I was about to say,
Not
like-
at all. Son, there's no
Like,
way
I
I'm
didn't know it
getting.
was going down
First
like
of all-
that in Israel.
First of all, Jewish chicks out there, like Israeli chick, they only want to sleep with Jewish guys,
Ah.
right? So like,
Respect.
no, it's cool. I
Your last
respect
name
it.
is
Respect.
Schulz. You can pull it off.
Respect.
So what happens when I tell them no, I'm not Jewish, and they go, "What are you?" German. It's
Oh, God.
It's not happening.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I can
It's
tell
not-
that didn't go over so well.
Exactly. Yeah. So I either lie about being Jewish, you know what I mean, and then
Why
whatever.
wouldn't
it's a
you
whole
just
thing.
lie?
You know what? It's like I felt like
I
if
feel like you're very like Caucasianly ambiguous.
I
if
could
you
float into any.
you can tell me
circumstance.
any white you are, and I'd be
Also,
Yes.
people still insist he's Jewish
Yeah.
on the comments of everything he does.
That's true. That is very
Why
true.
don't you just lie?
I'll tell you why. Because if like a trans chick like slept with me and didn't, say what she was, I would feel
word.
And I literally
word.
went through in my head. I was like,
all right, I like that. I respect that consistency.
That's very respectful.
so I gotta be
That's
consistent.
respect. Nah, I
you know what I mean?
respect that.
You know what I mean? So it's no disrespect,
Man
but,
of values,
well,
man.
Good look. Anyway, so I haven't taken a shit, and I took anyway. So I had an opportunity, go over this to this chick's house, right?
Mhm.
And dead ass, I'm telling you, I'm in Toronto, and I was like, should I go to this house? And I felt a shit bubble. I felt it bubble up. There's no bullshit. I felt it bubble it up, right? And it wasn't a shit. It was a maybe shit, right?
Oh,
And
so
I
it was like on the
pat-
brim, like
I-
on the cup.
Oh no, I wish it was on the cup.
Oh,
I felt it in my intestine. I felt it in here. It was
Oh,
like
no.
this
No,
could
movement
lead
in the intestines.
movement in the intestines.
Right.
And I was like, this could lead to something, and I need these. And if I go to hers, it's not gonna be pretty. So I passed up pussy for a maybe shit.
Wow.
I went back to the apartment. I sat on the toilet and just fart. That's all it was. Got nothing. Everything's back in here.
Damn. That's all right. So
I'm
like,
struggling.
Is this the first time you met this person? Like, is it the first time at her place?
No, I never went back to her place.
Oh no.
So it wasn't worth it.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't worth it.
You're
I
a
need
man
him,
dedicated to your shits.
bro. I can't even explain to you what I'm going through right now. I can't even explain to you what I'm going through right now.
I
It's
went to
fucking
Italy
brutal.
for 10 days. I couldn't
Yeah.
shit. It was unbelievable. I don't know what it was.
It's these European monsters, and Israel isn't in Europe, but whatever. The rest of the world.
The rest of the
They
world,
just
the
don't care about fiber.
non-Americans.
There's no fiber anywhere.
I need GMO. I need steroids. I need all the good things that's in American food
Yeah.
that makes me shit regularly. I don't want it's so natural. It tastes like a tomato.
No,
I don't give a
fuck
fuck
no.
what it tastes like. I want to shit after I eat.
Do you have enough couscous? Maybe that's all you're missing.
Bro, I don't know. I'm not
You
doing
just
that.
need to go uptown, go to Jimbo's, get whatever you want, get some cheese eggs and some grits.
With some
Mix
grease.
that in there, get some grease.
What's up?
Bro, I took some epic shits this road. Some epic shits, dog. It was fantastic. I was like, I almost felt bad for you. I'm like, damn, I just took an epic shit like this morning. I know how important those things are.
Well, how about you guys, man? How was your New Year's?
My New Year's was all right, man. Just spent it with the lady. Went to Vandal. Shout out to Tito's. They hosted me and my Henny Palooza guys. And,
Okay.
Anything on New Year's Eve that's free with booze and
That's
free
amazing.
food.
That's the look.
I'm like, that's where I'm going. I don't care. We'll make it work. So it was good. I was like pretty smacked by like 1 o'clock and falling asleep on my chair.
Mm-hmm.
And my lady like carried me home and took me home. It was like super fucking break outside.
Really?
Though.
Dog, this is the coldest. I lived here 10 years. This is the coldest I've ever seen it.
Ever. Not even just on New Year's. Just coldest
Yeah.
period.
Son.
Like,
Polar vortex, whatever the fuck. This is crazy.
I was in Canada, son.
yeah.
Fam, the picture of you in your hotel room with your fur hoodie on, your North Face in bed comforters on, indoors is the funniest shit ever.
I'm not doing it, bro.
It's the
Never again.
funniest
I was saying this on Instagram, and I 100% believe this. I'm surprised Canada hasn't invaded the United States for weather purposes only. It is a listen, and shout out to Canadian sports fans, by the way. Great sports fans.
Oh, absolutely.
Fantastic sportsman. I was watching a Nigerian freak
Yes, sir.
at
Giannis.
Giannis. I was watching him play the Raptors. And sold out. This regular season, playing the Bucks. I mean,
Yeah, they
Giannis
love
is
their
a big
team,
deal,
man.
but like they
Nah, they
fucking
support
love.
their own.
They
They
support
do.
their. It's a beautiful thing.
Mhm.
That being said,
They're the Jews of North America.
I guess they are. I guess they are. Piece of shit place to live.
Oh,
In
jeez.
terms of the cold, it is. It is a hazard. It's not cold regular. If you fall drunk,
You'll die.
you're dead.
You will die. You will freeze and die.
I was nervous walking home because I could just take it's snow, it's ice everywhere. You fall, you'll die. This is where these people live. It's not even the up north where the Eskimos are at. I'm talking about just the big cities. You're dead
Yeah.
if you fall.
I blame Drake for this. Like
Bro.
Drake's music videos and like songs have made like he kind of tried to make like Toronto like, oh, it's just like New York, it's just up north. I'm like, no, it's a different type of cold
Son,
up there.
It's a different
I went
beast.
up there for All-Star Weekend a few years back when they had it up there, and holy shit,
Colder
like,
than
it's-
Boston.
Yeah.
Bro,
It's-
you can't
it's a
even
different
fathom.
level of cold.
You're walking down the street afraid of your life.
This Toronto.
Toronto and Montreal. Montreal's even colder.
I heard Montreal's cold because my homie Nate McIntosh, really funny comedian,
Yeah.
lived in Toronto a lot of years. He said New York gets as cold as Toronto.
No, that's
Not
what
all
they
the
all
time.
say. That they all say that they're lying. They're lying to them. They're lying to you.
They don't know.
I'm telling you, I've never experienced that kind of fear walking down the street. It was fear.
I will say this: every Canadian I've met is incredibly pale. I have a Middle Eastern Canadian comic friend. He's still pale as fuck.
He's really
Dave Merhead pale as fuck.
He is. It's
Dave
not
Merhead
healthy.
looks Jewish again.
It's not healthy.
Looks like you saw him in Israel.
It's not healthy. I'm telling you, it's not healthy out there. But
man.
whatever. It is what it is. We survive. What about you? What about you, Akaash?
Fam, this is the best New Year's in
What'd you do?
years. My girl and I went to dinner. This is the first New Year's I haven't had shows since we've been together.
Mhm.
And she was ready to party. And then New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, she was like, fuck it. Let's go to dinner. Let's be home at 11.
great.
She had a glass of wine. I don't even drink. We were home at 11, under the covers, kissed at midnight, went to sleep. Was the best.
Wow.
You
Best.
cracked the cheat
That
code,
was the
bro.
best,
You
bro.
cracked the code, man.
She was the best ever.
You fuck?
Huh?
You fuck?
Huh? Oh, man. We all know that. I respect the privacy.
I
guys.
don't.
respect
You hit
it.
the skins for that shit? Damn, bro. How's
man.
that screen? Alex, we good? All right. Say what? All right, man. I admire. I almost didn't make it till midnight.
It's the worst fucking thing.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was whatever.
Celebrate a new
Oh,
year,
God, I
all that.
forgot.
Calm down.
What happened?
Yeah, I forgot. Like the day of New Year's, I was helping my girlfriend move. Right, so like
Oh, fuck.
on that, yeah, like so it was like extra long for me. Like I was helping.
When you
her
woke up from New Year's Eve.
No, it was New Year's Eve.
Oh,
Morning,
okay.
you know what I mean?
Okay,
Like
yeah,
I was
yeah.
helping her move stuff, like put stuff in storage.
Hold on,
and
to
put
where?
those in Brooklyn.
But is she
like,
moving to your place?
I mean, like no, but
But
yeah, but don't make this awkward. All right, I've already had this conversation a bunch of times.
Cut to the single. Cut to the single.
No,
Zoom in.
No, but like it was an extremely long day, and like by the time it hit like 12:30,
Yeah.
you know,
It's gotta be
midnight
long when
all
you
the
see
time,
your
I'm just
freedom just dripping away.
Like, oh boy.
That's about to be real long. Hell yeah.
Oh god, you know
The
what?
saddest New
Hey.
Year's ever.
Bro, I know. What
was
we
like-
celebrating tonight, babe?
My freedom. Nah, it's cool. That wasn't bad, man. It wasn't bad. It's just that moving sucks in general. And
Yeah.
it's like her first time moving
Yeah.
in New York, and I don't think she realizes how much like moving sucks already.
Yeah.
But like moving in New York like doubly sucks. You know what I'm saying?
The
Like
worst.
just it's
You can't park outside the spot.
no, you
There's
can't move
traffic.
no vans. Like you need like COIs and shit, and all this other bullshit that like no other states really need.
Yeah.
And it was just a pain in the ass. And on top of that, we had to go and do the party thing on New Year's and be with
So she
friends.
moved in.
No, not really.
So where
Not
else
really.
could she
Yeah.
live?
It was a confusing thing, man. It was a confusing thing. We had a spot uptown. The broker
Yeah.
Yo,
had like
Look how happy
sold it.
Alex is.
Yeah,
Nah,
Alex
that's
Alex
not-
already been through it.
No, here's the thing. Like she had
Alex
the spot
holding on
ready.
to a rent control apartment for his dear life, son. That's his only saving grace to not be with his girl, is so he can go to his. But babe,
man.
I got this for 1,100. I got a beautiful 2-bedroom for 1,100. I can't give it up, babe. I can't give it up.
Man. Yeah, no, it's I feel your that it's not pain, Alex. It is not pain. It's a good thing. It is a good thing. But nah,
Yeah.
it was one of those things where like, the broker like she had the deposit down already and like the broker like sold it without telling her. So I was like, instead of like rushing to find another spot, just like kick it here for a couple weeks.
Kick it here for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Famous
it's-
last words. You know who said that shit? The Native Americans to Columbus.
Yeah, we're just here from Europe for a couple weeks.
Yo, just kick it with us. Is that we got?
Yeah, all right, we
Hey,
good.
man, we got turkeys
We
and
got
shit.
maize and
Yo, want
shit.
some turkey? Hey, you want some sweet potatoes and shit? Hey, we got some sweet potatoes. You want some sweet potatoes?
Oh, God.
300 years later, Flagrant 2 up in this bitch. Let's go.
Shout out to colonization, guys.
Shout out to colonization.
Oh man.
Man.
Yeah. So fuck it, man. Let's
Start it up.
let's jump into
Yo,
it.
it's
First
busy
show of
ass
the year.
sports time, man.
Yeah, man. We
Get
got,
to it.
first of all, a lot of shit going on. A very sad injury to one of our favorite players here on Flagrant 2, James Harden.
The cute.
The cute man himself
Wow.
has pulled his hamstring. Apparently, he pulled it. He was putting those little mittens on his puppy's paws. really, the cutest way to ever strain your hamstring. You gotta lift with your glutes.
Yeah,
you
you
can't
gotta
be
lift
lifting
the
with your
glutes.
back.
Gotta lift
You
the
know what I
glutes.
mean? You go pull that hammy. So now the Rockets are without James Harden. Can Chris Paul earn his keep?
I think he can, and I don't doubt that they can keep the ship afloat for the next couple of weeks. My thing is, we said this in the beginning of the year. it was James Harden's MVP to lose. And I kind of think with like the past couple of games, where like they blew the game in this against the Celtics. I think they lost like 3 or 4 in a row, whatever.
Kaz had an interesting tweet after that game.
What was it?
Now he
I'm
got
on Twitter.
hurt.
After the end of that game, he said LeBron is the MVP.
LeBron's the MVP right now, man.
Kaz, his
Like-
biggest advocate, jumped ship from a 3-game losing
No,
streak.
it's
over.
Kaz gonna shave his beard. I'm
I'm
done with this cute
set my
motherfucker,
hairline. No, but I always said like, and I said this many times during a couple of episodes. I'm like, they're gonna find a way to not get James Harden as MVP, like media voters and stuff like that. Because we always said like it just wasn't. We've said this a bunch of times. Like his game is just not like forceful and demanding. Like he put up 51 in back-to-back games, lost one of them.
That's right. Yeah.
And then lost the Celtics blew like a 20-something point lead in Boston.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And like voters gonna look at that. And like people are like
Marquee games matter.
they
True.
absolutely
Yeah.
do.
The nationally televised shit matters.
When everybody's watching and LeBron's having another one of those like, wow, you look up, it's like, holy shit, he's putting up this
At
many
33,
numbers at
it's
15.
insane.
Yeah.
And I think he's gonna get one of those belated Kobe MVPs where it's like, we probably owe you 2 more, so we're just gonna give you this one.
Here you
even
go.
though
Take
it's
it.
like,
Yeah.
you
The
know,
Karl
just-
Malone MVP.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like
We got to think of a name for that.
the Karl Malone.
No, what is the Karl Malone MVP? The whatever that's the belated.
Yeah.
You know, it's like where like you can't give it to the same guy again.
Yeah.
What is the
I mean, I think it was voter fatigue. Voter fatigue with when they had it.
voter fatigue?
Yeah, initially, like when he had like 4 in a row,
Yeah.
and then like Derrick Rose got that one because like, yeah, we're not gonna give it to LeBron again.
Yeah.
And he just went to Miami, and it was just like, we kind of don't like him.
we didn't
so-
like him.
Yeah,
we
he
gotta
wasn't
like you for you to win the MVP.
Exactly.
That's something that people don't.
Super facts. That's why Kobe only got 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that 1 year that Steve Nash got it, it was the same
Yeah.
year that
If
Kobe
I
dropped
voted, I'd
81.
100% not vote for you if I didn't like you.
Of course.
Fuck you.
No, I know you're good,
Yeah,
but fuck
that
you.
shit, but, you know.
Yeah.
But nah, man, I really do think it's. I know you may say it's only 2 weeks and a 3-game losing streak, but like I think it's that slim of a margin between the Rockets and everybody else. Like their lead has dwindled. The Warriors kind of came back.
The Warriors are
and, like,
number 1 now.
They're number 1 again. LeBron is
Steph got to be on something.
about to get some help. Steph is
No, like
back
I'm
to
sorry.
being ridiculous
I'm
again.
sorry.
like-
The way he sprained his ankle, and I've had some bad
Yeah.
ankle sprains.
that was a full 90-degree
That's-
sprain that he got.
It looked like a boomerang.
Yeah.
His leg.
Yeah.
You don't come back in 2 weeks from that. It's taken me years
Yeah.
to come back like fully from bad ankle sprains.
Mhm.
Right now, I'm not getting the same treatment. I'm not getting that kind of stuff. Like, there's something they got to be injecting in these guys.
All
It's-
of them.
But it has to be. Yeah, and again, I'm not denying that, and I'm actually supportive of it. I
Yeah.
think you should be able to use HGH in time of recovery or
Yeah,
use
of
these
course.
other things.
Yeah.
Maybe not during the regular season, but to recover,
Not for a competitive advantage, but
to get back to
get
where
back
you were.
to where you were. I'm all for it.
Totally fine.
To be honest, if it doesn't do long-term damage, you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah, and that's
That's the
that
thing.
was the whole steroids argument. Like people were like, offing themselves and shit, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and doing all that crazy shit. So they're like, okay, maybe we gotta like chill on the steroids and like really buckle down.
but
on it.
HGH
like,
is good.
Look
It's
at Barry Bonds. He looks as healthy as ever,
Yeah, he
man.
looks
Like
good.
Mark McGuire looks fine. Like Sammy Sosa, all right, well, he's a little light skinned now, but like
Yeah.
other than that, he's pretty fine. Like, it's not like I like here's the crazy thing. Like, we go talk about the NFL and steroids, like concussion stuff and concussion protocol, that's way worse than any type of steroids people
Yep.
are taking.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And those are effects you can see like immediate.
What
You know
is
what I'm saying?
concussion protocol?
I mean, like, they had the thing when, like, Russell Wilson got, like, knocked out. And, like, when you could visibly see something, you're supposed to, like, sit out a few plays. And, like, supposed to bring an independent doctor on the side.
Yeah.
Not, like, your team guy to, like, look you up and down and just, like, get you back on the field as quick as possible.
Yeah.
They bring in an independent dude to, like, pretty much tell you if your bearings are off or whatever. And if you got to sit and take a week or whatever. And that's why the Seahawks got fined. Because, like, Russell Wilson was clearly concussed. He got knocked. Got the stuff knocked out of him at one point, and like before the independent doctor could come in, they sent him right back in the
out
game.
there. Good.
Yeah. It was like fuck all that shit. So it wasn't until they saw the replays and saw that he was like clearly loopy that they're like, oh shit, how we let this?
Yeah,
happen?
Tom
Like,
Savage, it happened with him in Houston. It's just what happens.
Yeah.
I actually think MVP doesn't get decided until like March, April, really.
Mhm.
But I was thinking about this, and I want you guys to answer.
Mhm.
think about it before you answer. I mean,
Gotcha.
so rosters as is. No
We're fine.
Isaiah Thomas on the Cavaliers, like the way they've been playing all year.
Yep.
You trade LeBron for KD and Steph. Keep everything else the same. Who wins a 7-game series between the Cavs and the Warriors?
With LeBron.
LeBron and the
The
Warriors.
Cavs, clearly.
KD. Are you sure?
The Cavs, clearly. The
So
Cavs.
it's just all
You
LeBron has is Clay.
And Draymond and Steve Kerr and that system.
Yeah, but Draymond's just a shittier LeBron.
I don't think that's the case.
Nah, I mean
LeBron-
he's a non-scoring.
For sure, if you switch one of those players,
He's a
with
husky
LeBron.
Lamar Odom, basically. He's like a husky shorter Lamar Odom.
I guess I mean like in terms of what like he can offer the team. You know
Also,
what I
is
mean?
there a better player for LeBron than Clay?
No, he's
great.
he's
I mean,
he's
Clay
the
fits on
perfect
any team.
fit.
Yeah,
Clay
he's
fits
on
on
any
any-
team. But
agreed.
for LeBron in particular,
Any guy who could guard a perimeter player and knock down 3-point shots, you
I'll-
give him somebody who can facilitate.
I
It's
think
going to be good. I'll say this. If you take LeBron and switch it with KD or take LeBron and switch it with Steph, whatever team LeBron is on is going to win. And that's how you know LeBron is more valuable.
right?
I don't. For KD
Hold on.
and stuff.
No.
You would
One
just
for
one.
one.
With
If
just
it's
Oh,
one
okay,
for
I don't
one
think it's a
trade,
question.
Okay.
right?
I don't think it's a question.
Without a question. But and I think that's how you show LeBron's true value, right? It's like
He's-
who's better, LeBron or KD? We'll just switch places.
Put
and
LeBron on the Rockets and Harden on the Cavs.
forget it.
I think LeBron is so valuable. And I also give a lot of credit to Steve Kerr in that system because no matter who the fuck goes down,
Yeah.
that team still crushes everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Didn't KD lose Draymond and Steph and still they went on like a 9-game
Yeah.
winning
But,
streak?
like I understand, like, and that's the whole thing
true.
about like why people were so mad when KD went to the Warriors. Like, yeah, like you can kind of feel a way about him personally, but like KD is still at worst a top 3 NBA player.
Yeah.
Anyway, like he's one of the few 1 or maybe 3 guys you can literally put on any NBA team. And they're capable. I'm not saying
Yeah.
they'll be a championship team. I'm not saying they'll be
They're
a
in the
player,
picture.
but they're in the picture. They're in the mix. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
it's like you give him KD and Steph
Yeah.
for LeBron. Like you put KD and Steph on any NBA team,
Yeah.
they're immediately a championship contender.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Denzel Washington, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be a blockbuster.
Yeah. Facts.
Going to
Facts.
have a big weekend.
But I do think, you know, we kind of owe LeBron an MVP. Like
So he's got the
Every year we owe
Yeah.
him an MVP.
Like there's no in just in the actual name of the award, who is more valuable not even just to the NBA to his team, but to the NBA than LeBron James?
Nobody.
Nobody. Like 15 years. No, like you could count on him not happening to him. He doesn't get hurt.
it's insane.
He's 15 years in the game. He looks stronger than ever. He looks like he's getting faster somehow.
Finals
It's-
every year.
Like he's in the
It's
finals
insane.
every fucking year.
Every year.
and
He's
he
in the finals.
doesn't take days off. Like you don't see him like, oh, LeBron's out. for
Plays
the next
way
week
too
or
many
2.
minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Obnoxious amount of
he's
minutes.
a fucking mutant, dog. Like he's like, how is he not more
He's
valuable?
Wolverine.
Yeah, exactly. He's Logan. He's Wolverine.
He's Wolverine. Who's the best coach in college football?
But best coaching.
Saban.
Nick Saban, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, because he's only gone to 3 straight.
Yeah.
How is LeBron not the MVP?
How is
it's
this discussion
unanimous.
every year?
Exactly, unanimous decision. You ask anybody in college about. I don't even know college football.
Yeah.
Nick Saban. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the best.
When he retires, they should just call it the LeBron.
The LeBron award.
The LeBron.
Yeah.
There's Zach Reinier, funny comic friend of ours, had a joke about when Jordan retired. He said they should retire his number from numbers.
It should be 19, 20,
21,
22,
24.
24.
Oh yeah, 22,
Yeah,
24.
way to
Yeah.
count.
Listen, bro, you know I can't do these types of things. Can't spell Philly and I can't count. You know what I mean? But I can sit in this chair, talk about taking shits.
Know your strengths, man.
Exactly.
There's a talent in knowing what you're good at. And damn,
Exactly.
that's
So if
what
LeBron
you do.
never has the number 23,
Yeah.
is his number the most
new
iconic
23.
number in NBA history?
So like, say it's 6.
Let's say it's 6.
All right.
Would that be more iconic than Jordan?
I don't think so.
Nah, man.
Okay, give me your the reason why I say the only reason why I say yes is because the game is more of a global game now, and through social media and all these other things that a player now currently would have more of a global impact, possibly, than a player in the 80s, 90s.
Yeah. I don't think so, just because of the power of Nike, man. Like the power of Nike and Jordan have made like more than the NBA.
Right.
Like they have made that number 23 so sacred to everybody. You know what I'm saying? That
True.
it's like a lot of this is marketing. A lot of this is PR, man. Like, you know, if somebody wears 23, you automatically think, oh,
He thinks he's nice.
He thinks he's nice.
thinks
Like, even
he's
if he's
nice,
nice or
yeah.
not, like he thinks highly of himself to be like, yeah, I'll
Yeah.
wear this on my back.
Yeah,
I know that I've worn 23 before. I've thought that about
Yo,
myself.
you feel
I
better.
know.
You
I-
feel.
I won't do it. It's too arrogant of a move.
You want the lower expectations.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
You don't want to like you put it's a target on your back.
Yeah.
It's absolutely a target on your back. You wear the number 23, automatically like he subs in the game. It's like, okay, this guy, like
Okay,
I gotta
but
at
when
least give him a little look.
but when these kids are wearing 23, are they wearing it for Bron or Jordan?
I think Jordan because I'm sure sneaker culture existed before Jordan,
Of course.
Mhm.
but it wasn't near this.
No,
Jordan made sneakerheads out of most of us.
by far.
That's an interesting argument. Yeah.
He absolutely
Did sneaker culture exist before Jordan?
Sure, it did.
It
People like
did.
Chuck
Some
Taylors.
some dorks were walking around with different types of Adidas or whatever. Top 10s, get out of my face.
Now
Now everybody-
the weapons with like Larry Bird and Magic
Yeah.
Johnson, which is literally the same sneaker,
Yeah.
just in different colors. and stuff.
Converse,
Yeah.
get out of my face.
Oh, that's right. Converse had some shit, but it
Yeah.
wasn't like I'm cool because I wear these sneakers.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and
It
20
wasn't an
years later,
identity
you're
thing.
not.
Nobody was getting bodied for those sneakers.
Alex is wearing shoes from 30 years ago.
Facts.
And we
Facts.
think it's the hottest fucking shoe on earth.
Oh, it's
and,
absolutely
and they
true.
haven't lost a bit of their luster. It's like, yep. Those,
Yeah.
those
There is
still
no
work.
LeBron as cool as that Jordan 1 right
No,
there.
that's oh, Jordan's got the best sneaker.
It should
Yeah,
be
but I
s-
think that it's not just who has a better sneaker, but that sneaker means so much. It changed culture. Like that
Mhm.
shit moved the
It's
culture.
got to be the shoes.
Yeah.
It was a phrase. Yeah, it's got to be the shoes. Like, you do the right thing.
And I'm
You know
clearly,
what I'm saying? There is
yeah,
that movie, that scene where somebody steps on his Jordan 3s and like they get the
the cement
airtight
fours.
fucking
Cement
yo,
fours,
the
I
cement
think.
fours, my bad. Yeah, they get the airtight
know.
cap
On
you
the
know,
Air
Yeah.
Jordan thing.
shot
Yeah,
of him brushing his
And he can't get it
toothbrush
clean. That
and
shit breaks. That's the saddest part of the movie.
Yeah,
That's sadder than the riot, if you ask me.
Yeah,
This man
like-
can't clean his Jordan.
Damn, bro, like Radio Raheem died, and that's sad and all, but like the fucking fours, those cement fours are ruined, bro.
See, man, fours didn't do anything. They weren't loud, except in appearance.
But yeah, man, it's I don't know. It's weird though, because you ask a lot of kids, you ask a lot of guys that are growing up, even not even kids. You ask a lot of guys in the NBA right now. I forgot who said it. I forgot. I think it was like Wesley Matthews or some like relatively young NBA player, and they were like, "Yeah, I wear 23 because of LeBron James." I'm just like,
That's
that's crazy to me.
That is
That's crazy to me.
interesting. That's a
because
really interesting point.
literally until right now, I assumed everybody who wore 23 was for Jordan.
Yeah,
But these kids, they don't know Jordan, just like
They
we don't know
don't.
Moses Malone.
they don't.
Yeah.
So like, it don't matter what the number is.
I feel
LeBron is
so
their
old.
guy.
Nothing makes me feel older than people like not having to experience Jordan. Not even have to watch him play,
Mhm.
but like at least just even like the years after he retired,
Yeah.
and like they were still looking for the next Jordan, or like even like
Yeah.
he had like he still had the flyest commercials of him like just like walking around being a regular guy again.
Yeah.
like the impact of Jordan, like people don't understand like how. I mean, I'm sure people still understand because like his shoes are still super popular.
Yeah.
But like be living in that moment, like there's no retired athlete now still that has that impact of a Michael Jordan. And I don't think like I guess Kobe's,
Remember the commercial, old Jordan playing young Jordan?
yeah,
That shit was
yeah.
the best one on
doing
one.
the You Reach I Teach type
Yes.
of shit, and like he was doing
I
all the
don't
old school
remember.
movies. Don't
Bro,
remember that?
I remember one Jordan commercial. I think it was
How
for the
old?
11s.
Like Uncle Drew old?
Nah, it was
No, it was
Wizards Jordan
Wizards Jordan versus.
versus like rookie year Jordan,
Oh.
and then at the end. He goes, I got next, and then Carolina Jordan walks in,
What?
and there's like, and they both look
Yeah.
at each other. It was a fire commercial, and I'm just like, damn, man. Like, I guess they're gonna. I feel like they're gonna try and do that with Kobe, and like have Kobe be like that. like,
then,
Yeah.
then he raped somebody.
I'll just
Fucked the whole marketing plan up.
Yo.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, goddamn it.
Now, greatness does make us forget.
It does, bro. Like people, and it makes me feel old because it's like, because I remember people telling me about like, yeah, Jordan's nice, but he ain't no Dr. J, he ain't no Larry Bird, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, this motherfucker's whack.
Yeah.
But I'm like, is that how people look at Jordan?
Yeah.
Like, they're like,
And I don't remember LeBron.
Yeah,
And what's
that's
the worst
traditional.
thing about Jordan? Like the worst thing that they'll say is, "Are we gonna watch this video?"
He's a sociopath.
Yeah,
though.
he's a
Jordan
yeah,
as a
but
person.
everybody great is a
Gambler.
sociopath. But I want to go. Hold on, what is this?
this is the Jordan commercial, the Jordan vs. Jordan.
Okay, How
There
long
you
is
go.
it?
It's Wizards Jordan. You can just watch this
That's a
first
little
like
minute.
10-15 seconds.
All right. Okay.
Oh, this with the snakeskin 17s too. Those shirts are so fire.
There they go. Young
Oh.
Jordan.
Yes.
I'm good on any Jordan after 3.
After 3?
Yeah.
That's insane to me. 4s? You're
Actually,
good on 4s?
Actually, I don't like them. I only wear ones, but I would wear. I do like the what's it called? The patent leathers, the 11th.
I'll
Yeah,
go
the
to 12.
11th. I'm good up until 13.
Yeah.
I'm good up
Nah,
until
nah.
13.
13
like
is-
the hard cutoff for me.
No. Oof, golly,
Ooh, he's got
golly,
MJ.
golly. All right,
You reach, I teach. Bang.
fuck it. What were we just saying now? What was the thing?
Who's got the more iconic number?
No. It was on that conversation. I had something to say.
Kobe. Greatness makes you forget.
Greatness does make you forget, man.
No. Oh
And then
well.
boom. I think Carolina Jordan walks in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Nike does a better job than anyone else in like keeping their like finger to the pulse of culture.
Oh yeah, I think I know where you're going with this.
And I'll say this because I saw Jesse.
Yes. Shout out to Jesse.
Shout out to
man.
Jesse
Get the
Filet.
bag, dude.
Oh, yeah.
fucking
Jesse
bag.
Filet, he's been posting a lot about how he's Team Nike, and I was like, well, that's smart of Nike to give him some money to like brand him with them. I mean, he's this great charismatic kid who's really funny. He had this thing that organically happened. For those of you guys who don't know, he's the guy who does the Filet videos. He does commentary on all like the basketball, football, boxing highlights and stuff like that. But he's also this really positive kid. He's always dancing, he's smiling. There's a lot of good stuff to get on board, right? But so Nike, every other shoe company could have approached him. Every other
company
shoe
did. I could tell you. I could tell you straight up.
and he said no.
BR, we wanted to do something with him in Under Armour for Steph Curry,
Really?
and like we were late.
Oh,
we were
no,
late.
that's what I'm saying is like every other one could,
Yeah,
but Nike was there first.
Nike was there first.
You
Yeah,
know,
they got to him first. Yeah.
Because look, we had him on a podcast here. It's not like you couldn't access him, but we didn't do
He's
it. And
incredibly accessible,
Very-
incredibly approachable.
Yeah.
He's great.
Nice dude.
great guy. So here's the thing that I respect about Nike is that like in my experience with executives, and this is not all executives, but a lot of executives are detached from the culture and the people that they are making content for. And what they do is they trust maybe their assistant, maybe they trust their kid, maybe they trust these random people with literally all of their cultural knowledge
Yeah.
about them. And this happened when I was at MTV. You had these execs who were a little bit older and they were a little bit detached from the culture, didn't know exactly what was going on. But they would have, faith in certain people. They, trust Charlemagne. They trust, and there's good people that they could actually trust.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of brands don't do that well.
They don't.
And I think the reason Nike stays one step ahead of all of them is because they do. And I
Matter
don't
of
know
fact,
who it is that they're hiring.
the only reason Adidas got Yeezy
Yeah.
is because Nike got Yeezy first,
Yeah.
established
yeah, and
Yeezy,
then
and then
gave
they
it up.
fell out.
Yeah.
And then Adidas was like, "Oh, this works."
Yeah.
They
Not
didn't
for
go out
nothing.
and say, "Hey, let's give this rapper a sneaker."
Yeah. Yeah. And it's been done before, but it's like a lot of times rappers are content with just being like outfitted and just being like, yeah, like Adidas, like Run DMC, my Adidas, okay, that's cool. But Kanye wanted to take it a step further. Nike was like, nah, we're good. And then Adidas was like, fuck it, well, and I understand why they don't do it. There's a lot of money involved. There's a lot of risk involved. So with Jesse and the Kyrie commercial, I mean, like, have you seen the actual commercial? Like,
I
it's
have
like.
not.
Sick.
It's such a fire spot because it's like it is an absolute like time capsule of what's hot right now.
Yeah.
So even if people start doing filet tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? Like it's smart on Nike to just be like, we recognize this moment right now. We're gonna give this kid this moment right now. Kyrie is our main, next to LeBron James. He is our signature guy. Like it's a big deal.
He doesn't say filet in the commercial.
He says fade away.
He says fade away.
Which is, you could bet there's marketing reasons behind that. You know what I mean?
Did he
Jesse
copyright filet?
Jesse probably owns filet.
Good.
Nike probably didn't want to, call for the bad. So it was like, we'll do this, but whatever. At the same time, it's a big deal to be a signature athlete on Nike. It's the reason why
Huge.
It's the reason why Steph Curry left, because they don't want to make him a signature athlete. It's the reason why a lot of people, Dwayne Wade, the reason why a lot of these guys end up leaving.
Yeah.
Because they don't, become signature athletes at Nike. So they only have 5, if I'm not mistaken. It's Braun, Kobe, Kyrie, KD,
Giannis.
Paul George, and I don't even think Giannis has a signature yet. Like, I think they might give him one eventually, but those are only 5 guys with signature lines for Nike. And so for him,
I thought that was part of the new deal, but whatever.
maybe
Maybe
we'll see.
Yeah.
But for Jesse and Filet to get that Nike joint, man, like it's why Nike stays on top, and they're the best at it. That's the reason why people still wear number 23. It's the reason why people still idolize Jordan. Yeah, he's great and all, but it's like marketing and PR and all that type of stuff plays a part into it. Keeps you in the consciousness. It's the reason why we're still wearing his sneakers like 35 years later and shit. So
It's unbelievable.
But good. It's good for him.
It's unbelievable. Akaash, you want to talk about your shitty ass Cowboys?
Man,
Stupid fucking jersey.
man.
You bought a
They
new
went 8-8,
Cowboys
right?
jersey?
Nah, I've been had this.
You been had it?
Yeah, actually, my girl got this for me as an anniversary gift. Like a
I
year
hope
ago.
she
It was a
got
good
it.
gift.
Nice.
No, I never wanted any new Cowboy stuff because I'm just tired.
You're over it?
Yo, you know what I realized?
You're gay?
The Cowboys. No, I've been knowing that. I've been knowing that, fam. I've been knowing that. The Cowboys are the Knicks. We haven't been relevant since the 90s.
Mhm.
The reason I don't want to come talk about them all the time is because you guys are always talking about the Knicks.
Right.
But I think it's only fair. We all have our biases.
Sure,
We're not
absolutely.
journalists here.
Look at the art Alex put together, yeah.
And I don't even mind
Look
it.
at the art Alex put
Trash.
together. Shout out
I'm
to
tired
Alex.
of it. Zeke is a fucking idiot.
Mm.
My man is just under investigation by the NFL for a year, and then he spends the offseason after a year pulling down a girl's shirt at St. Patrick's Day, knowing everybody's filming you,
God.
beating the shit out of a dude at a club, paying the cops to cover it up, whatever the fuck he did.
Going to a
The
medical
day he got
marijuana
suspended,
spot.
yeah, going to the marijuana spot. The day he got suspended for 6 games and appealed, he was on a party yacht. He's a fucking idiot, and I'm tired of him. Jason Garrett's a horrible coach. Jerry Jones needs to die before anything is going to change.
Jesus
22
Christ.
years of this motherfucker since Jimmy left.
Yes.
22 years, 2 playoff wins. We are the Knicks. We have not been relevant. I always make fun of Knicks fans. Y'all can't even get out of the first round. Get the fuck out of my face. That's
Yeah.
the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And here's what I'm saying. Everybody
Feel our
says,
pain.
everybody,
Feel our
I
pain,
feel it.
goddammit.
Everybody in Dallas, I realize Dallas fans outside, Cowboy fans outside of Dallas are like obnoxious and they're like Knicks fans in New York.
Okay.
They just don't no basis in reality.
Yeah.
In Dallas, we all know this isn't going to change until Jerry dies.
Mm.
But I've realized there is a sliver of hope.
Okay.
What needs to happen, Jerry Jones is an owner born in what, the 1940s?
Mhm.
Old white dude, drunk,
He needs to say some racist
womanizer. We need some Jerry Richardson shit to come out about
What's
Jerry Jones.
Richardson?
Jerry, the
But
owner
Jerry
of the
Richardson still owns the Panthers.
or he's gonna have to be forced to see. I thought he was gonna sell. He said
Yeah,
he's
but
gonna
he
sell.
will, but he-
Oh, we gotta
he hasn't
talk
been like
about that.
forced out, but like
Well, we're
yeah.
combining 2 stories here. So Jerry
Yeah,
Richardson, owner of the Panthers, a lot of sexual harassment complaints, and then a lot of complaints about him saying like racist things.
Mhm.
Okay.
And that was enough for him to be like, you know what? I'm gonna take my billions. I'm gonna get the fuck out.
Mhm.
Jerry Jones isn't racist. I don't think he's racist, but he's a white dude born in the 40s. I don't think he's never said some dumb shit.
I
Yeah.
don't think he's not racist. I do think there's a strong possibility he probably isn't aware of his racism.
Fine. Call him on that. Let's start documenting things.
Yeah.
This guy fucks everybody. There's pictures of him with strippers. Just somebody.
Who, Jerry Jones?
We just need one brave woman to come forward. That's
Oh,
really what we
yeah,
need.
we need Me
Now
Too.
you're
And that
supporting
we
Me
need,
Too?
he needs his Weinstein falling moment. And then the Cowboys will be all right. Women will benefit. The Cowboys fans will benefit. This is the solution.
But
Jeez.
what
This
if
is what
he's
it's gotta
just
be.
like the sweetest guy?
I mean, there's
What if
definitely
Jerry Jones is like the one
I
guy
hear
that
stories
doesn't
about
Me
that,
Too?
which is crazy.
No,
He's just taking
everybody
care of
who
these
everybody
girls.
who likes him,
Yeah.
everybody who knows him apparently thinks this is like a really likable guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just, you're out here fucking this many girls
How
at
do you know
that
he's
age.
fucking all these girls? How
Doug,
old is
there's
he?
a picture of him
I
in
did
like
see
a
that
in like a
picture.
club bathroom with 2 girls. Like one of them's like down by his crotch, like grabbing it or something. If you can look up this picture, I should have sent it to you beforehand because I knew you wouldn't.
Okay.
Because again, this was a big deal in Dallas.
So why does nobody else talk about this?
I don't know how it doesn't become a huge thing. I don't know how he does this.
Okay.
I don't know how he. Remember when he said everybody on our team is gonna stand from the national anthem or they won't
And then
play?
everybody
And
stood?
everybody did.
And then everybody stood,
Yeah.
and then to stop being a story 2 weeks later. I don't know how this guy slides on everything.
He should be the commissioner.
Fam.
I think that's what
He-
he wanted, to be honest.
Oh, he wanted to be the commissioner. He wanted to sell the Cowboys.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's what he wanted. But
Nah, he
did-
wants to be known as a football guy. That's
Yeah.
why he fired Jimmy, because Jimmy wouldn't give him any credit. Jimmy like still says to this day, I had the final say on all football decisions. Jerry still denies that. And Jimmy's like, all right, fine, you can deny it. Cowboys fans are like, cool, you can deny it, but for 22 years, you've had the final say, and you've done nothing. So what do you... And that's his big thing. Like, the Cowboys were losing a ton of money when he bought them. The NFL wasn't doing that well. He's a great businessman.
Yeah. Right.
Genius. Yeah, that's the one.
Damn.
That's the one.
Damn.
He got his hand on her head,
Look at my
fam.
man.
Yo.
That's appropriate.
And he's posing for
Tell
that.
me that ain't me too, fam.
Jeez Louise. How many lines was he on?
This is the 90s or what?
No, this is like 4 years ago.
Yeah, no, this is fairly recent.
This is very recent, maybe 3.
That's what he's supposed to do. He's a billionaire. He's a single billionaire.
Listen, I'm not
Is
arguing.
he married?
I'm not arguing what the morality is. I'm telling you what the culture is right now, and somebody needs to say something. This monster needs to be stopped, and I'm not talking about his behavior with women. I'm talking about his behavior with the Cowboys. That shit is unacceptable.
Do the players not get any blame for this, man? Because Des Bryant was over there.
Des Bryant, I love Des. That's my favorite Cowboy on this team. But yo, he's not looking good. Dak's not looking good.
Tell you something about Des. He ain't getting no pussy like Jerry. Tell you one thing, Dez ain't getting that right there. That's a me too. If Dez does that, that's a me too. If Jerry does it, it's like that's a me maybe.
No, I'm not gonna touch this one.
Listen, bro.
I'm not touching this one.
Look at this. Look at this right here, man. This is a classy lady. Listen, of course she's
consenting,
Hey, I'm not arguing whether or not they look consenting. I'm just saying there's gotta be one girl.
What line do you think he said to get her face right there?
Here's $1 billion.
Nah, he's not giving no $1 billion. He probably says some slick southern shit.
Here's $1 million. He said here's $8.
Here's $8. Like, sure, okay, I got it.
Hey, sweetheart, will you go down there and check to see if my zipper's unzipped?
Listen, I'm not arguing what's right or wrong. I don't care.
This looks somewhat non-consensual until you see her hand on his chest. That's a consensual.
I'm not.
hand.
Listen, I'm not arguing these pictures. I'm arguing in general with
got
all
the
the women
shirt
he's
untucked.
fucked.
He done got his dick sucked
So
already.
Jerry Jones gets ousted. Who's the guy for you?
Oh, who would I prefer as an
Who would
owner?
you prefer? Literally anyone?
Yeah, pretty much anybody.
You
Keep him behind the scenes. Let
Honestly,
him make money.
bro, I think that you're judging Jerry wrong. This is giving me a whole new respect for Jerry.
Yo, as a man, I'm not judging him as a man. I'm judging him as a football owner.
This girl's
as a GM.
throwing it back at him, tongue out the mouth. He got the same Liam Neeson taken face in both pictures. Son.
Jerry Jones is...
Look at his face. Acknowledge the fact that he's
Dog,
stone
listen to
cold.
me. Listen to
He's
this.
like 8 Jim Beams down.
Oh,
That's it. But no emotion whatsoever.
None.
So in case it does go to the courts, he can say, honestly, I was pushing this woman off of me. There's no joy. He would say, I was taking, sweetheart, move your head from my crotch, please. This is inappropriate.
That's how this works.
I'm just trying to do it.
Jerry
I doubt
is
that's how this
everything
works.
you want to be. I get that.
Yeah.
He's rich.
Yeah.
He got hoes. Everything you
True.
want to be. But
Them
anyway,
YouTube I
I'm
can
not
read
arguing
those
him as a
YouTube
man.
comments
I'm
already.
talking about him as a GM,
Right.
as a football guy. Just
Yes.
one
Listen,
girl.
let's talk about what this is really about. You have a girlfriend, and she doesn't allow you to appreciate real men. Okay? This is some soft-ass beta male shit that you're doing right now. You see a man out here getting pussy, and your girl put the kibosh on that. Okay? She bought you a faithful-ass Emmitt Smith jersey, not a Michael Irvin jersey.
I got an Irvin jersey. No, that's not Z.
Oh, it's not?
I got a. I wouldn't.
Smith, right?
That's Emmitt Smith.
Yeah,
I got a.
didn't see
I got
that
an
one.
Irvin jersey.
You got Irvin. You
I already
ain't
got
allowed to
it.
wear it no more.
I be wearing them.
No, you don't.
I be wearing
You
them
don't wear that. You wear it on laundry day. So go watch your Emmitt Smith jersey so you can hang around the house. This is a real man right here. Jerry Jones trying to protect the NFL.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean?
I love Dez. Dez out here fucking hoes.
No, he not. Dez married.
Dez ain't married.
Yeah, Dez
Yeah,
loves fucking. What do you think X is? That's for the X chromosome. That guy likes dudes, bro. He ain't even out here.
Dude's got a Y chromosome.
Whatever, motherfucker. I ain't no scientist.
all
Fuck, I look like a scientist, bro. I don't know anything about that shit.
What?
Y'all thought I was a scientist. I was half right about that shit.
You can only be half right about that.
Whatever, yo. I got that 50%. You know what I mean? Shout out to Jamie Lee Curtis and her should have had a dick ass.
Oh, God.
You heard about that, Jamie Lee Curtis? You heard about
Wait,
that?
what?
Jamie Lee Curtis is
Born
born
with
a
a dick.
genetic male.
Really?
But a certain amount of people don't have this. So I actually do know a little bit about science. So
You know a little bit
So
about
if-
dick.
I know
I was
a
about to
lot
say,
about dick.
dicks.
You know what I mean? A lot about it. No, but Jamie Lee Curtis what is it? When you're born, everybody's born, or not born, but like when you're inside the belly, you're a woman, and then testosterone masculinizes the brain, right?
Mhm.
So certain people have this thing where they just don't accept the testosterone. They just don't accept the Y chromosome.
Okay.
So she was born genetically to be a man, but she has this issue which doesn't allow her to accept the testosterone, and then she never changed.
I don't know, bro. Still kind of gross to me.
I mean, it is
still kind of gross to me.
It is some wild shit, but that's just what it is.
It's just the miracle.
All right. So,
I
in
guess.
conclusion,
Ugh.
about Jerry Jones,
We just need a couple allegations.
hearing you bitch about Jerry Jones makes me realize how silly Knicks fans sound blaming it on Dolan,
How?
because it's not him.
He just cuts the checks.
He just cuts the checks, B.
Because Jerry
No, he
Jones-
doesn't. He's the GM.
No, Dolan
He's
just cuts the
titled
checks.
himself the GM.
Yeah.
But Dolan is also involved in these decisions.
No,
like
but
Dolan
Jerry
is gonna
says, I am the GM. I will not hire a GM ever.
right.
He literally said to there's a radio segment on the ticket. Somebody called in,
Yeah.
started yelling. It was like 15 years ago. And
Yeah.
this was like 20 years ago, maybe. He said, do you like those 3 Super Bowls? I hope you did. I hope you did very much. And then I think he said something to the effect of, I will give up being GM when I'm dead.
I like
Yeah.
that.
And that's it. Cool. You can do that. You own the team, but you're not good at it.
Fair enough, but okay, let me ask you this hypothetical question, right? You are a billionaire.
Right.
You are going to die one day. All you want to do is be the GM of a football team and win a Super Bowl. Don't you have the right to do that shit?
I'm not saying he doesn't have the right.
You just would prefer he does.
I would prefer he didn't. And that's why I'm saying if one of these girls just wants to come forward.
Yo,
You know what I
Jerry
mean?
the type of dude to be like, she asked for it. I really feel like Jerry might, honestly,
He seems
Jerry
like the
not
type
going
person
to
that'll get away with
apologize,
that shit
B.
too, man.
Bruh.
Like, yeah, I did it, but she wanted it.
She wanted it.
And everyone's like, oh. And you know what it is? Here's the thing, right? So with the Jerry Richardson thing, like there's pressure on him to sell, right?
No,
Because
I
of these
heard he said
allegations.
he's going to sell.
Yeah,
Nah,
I
but
mean, because
because
of all
of
that
the
type of
pressure,
stuff.
Right.
Jerry Jones seems like the type that would say, "Fuck you, I'm not selling."
I ain't selling.
He's like, "What you gonna do? Not come to Cowboys games,
well,
Dallas?"
from what I understand,
Fuck you.
from what I understand, the reason he wants to sell is to get out ahead of the NFL doing to him, because it like
what
happened
the
to
Clippers
what
dude?
Silver did to Sterling.
Because it
Sterling,
was
yeah, yeah.
tragic what happened to Sterling. The way he sold his franchise for $2 billion.
$2 billion.
I
I mean, that's
know,
what
right?
also Jerry Richardson's like. I'm gonna make billions of dollars, whatever.
He's
but
good.
the
Yeah.
inevitability he saw was that the NFL like was going to make him sell the team. So that's what I'm saying. This
look.
is this is the sliver of hope.
I hope Diddy gets it, to be honest with you. I really
The
do.
Panthers? I think so.
I really hope. I think it'd be great. I mean, you can't deny Diddy's marketing ability. He's a fucking genius when it comes to marketing. Who's better than Diddy?
Listen, if you want to make the NFL a little bit more friendly to us coloreds, you get you let Puff get his team of really rich friends and buy an NFL team.
Easy.
I'll be at least interested.
Play all the games on Revolt. Now we got a reason to watch Revolt.
Diddy actually pays. I don't know when this happened, but he actually pays.
Yeah, he
Shouts to
pays.
Joe Budden.
Yeah, shout
Yeah.
out to Joe. Got the bag, man.
Did
Shout out to
they
him.
sign up on that?
I think they confirmed it on New Year's Eve when they did the New Year's Eve party, whatever they were talking about. But
And is Act gonna
they
go as
didn't
well?
talk numbers. I haven't seen Act round them at all, but I think
Wow.
Act's straight.
Wow.
I think those gamer YouTube checks are,
Oh no,
He's
it's
fine.
real money. He's got it, man.
He's
That is
fine.
huge, man.
yeah.
Yo, Joe's come a long way, man.
Yeah, man. For somebody who stays irrelevant, bro, that people say he's irrelevant, that motherfucker manages to stick
He's the
stick around.
Kenny the Jet
dude.
Smith of rap.
Oh shit! That is the most appropriate comparison
Oh.
I have ever seen.
Oh my
The
God.
Kenny the Jet Smith the rap.
Wow.
I immediately got that. I immediately got that.
Only
like,
Flagrant 2 fans are gonna get that shit right there.
it's
That's
like,
great.
dog, like he won a championship. Yeah, he was never really like the greatest. He won 2 championships.
He's
yeah.
the luckiest person in the world.
Went to North Carolina.
He was
a
nice
good
though.
player.
He
was
was
good.
a
He was
contributor
super
on
nice.
those teams.
But it's like, dog, now
He
a
has
couple
no
years later,
business sitting down with Shaq, Charles Barkley, or Ernie, who is
Like
the Shaq and Charles Barkley of
television
hosting a TV
Yeah,
show.
he's the GOAT.
Oh, dog! Like the fact that Kenny Smith finessed his way.
It's amazing.
But he's
that.
actually good
And
at
he's
being
great
an
at what he
analyst.
does.
He might be the best
He's
of all.
the best of all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's there for pure merit, but in terms of
Like
skill,
there is no inside the NBA without Kenny Smith.
how
Like,
crazy is it that Shaq has all these balls telling Barkley to shut up because he has no championships,
Yeah.
and none of them, Shaq nor Barkley, ever go, Kenny,
Kenny, you weren't that.
you were
nice,
regular.
bro.
Yeah,
Like,
Vernon
you were
Maxwell was better than
extra
you.
regular,
You know what I
dude.
mean?
You were extra regular. You were nice in college. You went to North Carolina. I seen you.
Yeah.
You won a dunk. Did he win a dunk?
Yeah,
contest?
he
Or
did. He
wasn't
had
a dunk
bunnies,
contest,
bro.
Something like that. Yeah, but like, you're not no Shaq. You're not no Chuck. But fuck that. The longer, I always say this.
He almost looks like Button. Yo, he almost does.
The longer
Yo,
he's away.
Let's ask his ex-girlfriends if they're all right.
The longer.
That was
Wow.
flagrant, dog. That's a flagrant too. Yo. I'm sorry, man. For those of you who got it, you get it. For those of you who
Joe,
don't,
man.
Listen,
shout out
that
to you, Joe, man.
That would
Congrats
have
on
kept.
the deal,
That
bro.
would have kept the fucking Smiths on the air, bro. If they had some drama, that's the problem with the Smiths. Ain't no drama on that
It was
shit, bro.
too much good black love on TV. Like, we
Yeah.
don't need any of that
Oh,
shit.
fuck.
Get
Don't
it
we
off
already
the
have
air.
Blackish? What's happening over here?
We don't need all this black positivity.
Come on.
Fuck that shit.
We had Rev Run in that show.
Get off the air.
oh fuck.
Why aren't they throwing champagne on each other in an empty restaurant? This is odd.
Oh
Man.
my
You
God.
know,
How fucked up is that, yo? Beautiful,
fucked up.
happy family on TV. Motherfuckers don't want to watch it.
We ain't watching that shit, bro.
No.
I mean, reality TV in general. Only
You need
fun if
some
it's-
conflict, I guess.
Horrible,
You need
yeah.
conflict
Yeah.
in anything.
Yeah.
that
In
you
everything,
watch.
yes,
Anything.
fair enough.
Nobody wants to watch people getting along.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
And learning lessons about life. Fuck watches that shit.
That's why I don't go to women's marches. Too much unity, right? You know
All
what I
this
mean?
positivity.
Yeah,
man.
fuck
Don't
out
do
of
that
here with
shit.
all this shit.
Negativity spreads faster, goddamn.
Let's
it.
go.
We need that shit.
Mhm.
But yeah, nah. Shout out to Joe Budden, man. He really.
Shout out to Andrew's joke. He was waiting to use that shit the whole time.
Woo,
As soon
boy.
as he heard Joe got the deal for sure, he
I
was
had
like,
that shit like
fuck.
this. You know, I had the slow cock. The gun. You know when you're behind like a wall, the bad guy doesn't know you're there.
sitting on a
Exactly.
sitting on
I
a
don't-
platform.
Good,
Just
good.
Oh man, I really feel bad for people who didn't get that.
It's all good.
I feel worse for Joe Budden's exes, but I feel bad for people who didn't get that.
God damn it, man. God damn. Joe's a friend. He's a friend, all right? I will not. I will not shit on this man's life right now, all right?
Shitting on
I
him.
will not shit on his past, man. He has a great future in broadcasting. He just had a baby.
Hey man, that's
Shout out
beautiful.
to
That's
shout out to
beautiful.
Sin. Shout out to everybody.
Yeah.
I will not partake in this Joe Budden slander.
No.
goddamn.
God bless, man. That's beautiful.
God
The
bless.
baby
For real,
and
for real.
everything.
Congrats.
Like that. That's gorgeous. Childbirth is a painful thing. I can think of other things that are painful.
Yo, I'm good. I'm done. Nope. Yeah, Akaash has left the room. He has left the room. Nah, man. Nah, bro. Y'all. That is the most. That might be the most flagrant. That might be the most flagrant take we've ever had here.
Oh man.
Jesus Christ. Y'all are terrible human beings. You're a terrible human being.
What I do?
Comics, dog.
That's what we do, motherfuckers.
Y'all are terrible people.
Listen, rappers, y'all talk about killing people and shit like that and selling drugs, you know what I mean? You do that even though none of y'all do it. This is what we do. We make jokes about shit.
Yeah, we find humor in shit that's not supposed to be humorous.
Bro, I
God
thought about this shit. I think
damn.
I was telling you, I thought about this shit.
damn.
It's so funny that, like, only comics are taken so seriously, so crazy.
Yeah.
Like they're.
Like the Chappelle stand-up. This
I didn't
one
see the most
you didn't-
recent one.
Oh my god!
Everybody
it's so
says it's
good.
amazing.
It's so good.
But-
It's so good. It's a stand-up about his last stand-up, about like all like the
Oh,
backlash
all
he
the back.
got,
Oh,
like,
I want to
from-
watch.
Fucking
You gotta
fuck.
watch. It's so good.
He's-
wanna
I mean,
watch.
true genius.
Well, he's a brilliant dude. But I was thinking about this because I was at a show and some guy said something in the fucking audience. I was telling Akaash about it, and he was just I was saying some joke that was pretty offensive. I was talking about all like the Me Too stuff and how I'm not going to get caught up in that shit. And And the guy was with his girl, just some fucking cuck in a cardigan and fucking corduroy pants and just this stupid fucking pussy. And he goes, not funny. Right? Everybody's laughing. He just waits for some silence. He goes, not funny. And he puts his like shrimpy arm around his girlfriend. And Indian girl, by the way, and I knew that would piss you off. And, white guy, Indian girl.
Of course.
Yeah. So, but I thought about this shit. And it's like, do these guys keep the same energy? Like when they watch horror movies, are they like, murder is not entertainment? You know what I mean? When they watch like one of these like creepy Danish.
Not okay.
Yeah, not okay. Like you have to understand that it's the same playing field, right? Like if you're okay with, we're drawn to the things that we're afraid of. Right, we're drawing things we fear. That's why we love watching gangster movies. You know what I mean? It's like the mafia is in so many ways so sexy because we're like, wait a minute, it's dangerous. You know what I mean? And it's like, now should we not watch the movie because it's using violence and murder and rape for entertainment? No, we're gonna still watch it. And with jokes, we should still be able to enjoy jokes. Not criticizing you, but I'm saying the people that take jokes. The people that take jokes seriously.
You shouldn't hold people. You shouldn't hold comics to a different standard than you would have for regular people.
A film or something like that.
I've been trying to polish this joke forever and like really crack it. I can't get it exactly, but Game of Thrones is maybe the greatest show ever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I watched season 1 and I could not find a consensual sex scene in season 1 of Game of Thrones.
Wow.
Except when the brother is fucking his sister.
Yeah.
And somehow that's not only is that okay, that's the greatest show you've ever seen.
Television.
But a rape joke is this guy shouldn't have a career.
So I have this this little, I don't know if it's a joke, but like ideas that are in there or whatever. And how Game of Thrones represents everything the fans of Game of Thrones say they hate.
Yeah.
Right? So like Game of Thrones fans it's everybody, but tend to be like very liberal. Do you know what I mean? But perfect example is, sexual assault is wrong and all these things wrong, but everybody's just getting raped in Game of Thrones. Trump, how dare you build a wall? The wall. You know what I mean? Jon Snow's wall in Game of Thrones. He's keeping the wildlings out. Who are the wildlings supposed to represent? Those crazy people on the other side of the wall living like savages, huh? All I'm saying is it's in this TV show format. We're completely okay enjoying this kind of thing. And once you bring stuff into a comedy realm, I'm not saying politicians shouldn't be held to a higher standard.
Yeah.
They absolutely should, because what they're saying they believe is 100% real and true. You said this. It was brilliant. There's a difference between stand-up comedy and sit-down comedy. Because I was like, what the fuck? What happened to comedy?
Yeah.
Like, this is what we always used to say this shit. And I was like, was it Jon Stewart? Did Jon Stewart fuck this up for all of us?
Wow, I never thought about it like that.
But like, Jon Stewart started using comedy as a device for his like real political views, and not just saying funny shit. Like Chris Rock, as political a comic as he is, when he said Hillary Clinton should be the first woman on her knees sucking that dick.
Yeah.
I don't really think that's what he believes.
Yeah.
I think he understands infidelity can happen no matter how often your girl sucks her dick, But I think John used comedy as a device, and all of a sudden it started making comedy more real. Like it was like factual, and we needed to fight for a cause.
The Daily Show went from like, okay, it's like a
satirical
funny satirical thing to like, oh no, some people legitimately trust Jon Stewart over
as the news, fam.
Like Katie Couric.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, he's a comic. But he liked that. I think he liked that. He loved it. He loved it, man. And like that, it kind of
John Oliver thinks that way.
It legitimized Comedy Central
facts
even more than like South Park did.
Way
it's
more.
like, dog, the Alex that came from the Daily Show, the Samantha Bees and the John Olivers and the Hassan Minaj's and like all these guys that got their what's the guy, Larry Wilmore, not Larry Wilmore, but he was around for a while.
Yeah.
But it's like,
of course,
the Daily Show really,
springboard.
it springboarded all these people to be these political commentary folks, but with comedy and shit like that. So it's like, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing where it's like, yeah, we want to look at our comedy and take it as that, but at the same time, the world's so fucked up. What's the difference between Samantha Bee and a, I don't know, fucking Coda, whatever the shit, whoever the bitch that hosts Today's Show, whatever the shit. I don't know. Like, what's the real difference? Like, Hoda, whatever. I don't know. I don't watch Soccer Mom TV. But, you know, like, what's the real difference? Like, one's funnier than the other, and like, yeah, sometimes they say some real shit. So I don't know. It's crazy. It's you know, I didn't mean to shit on you guys. With the,
No.
We weren't responding to you, dog.
I hear you.
We were responding to just what we got to deal with as comics and being held to this highest standard.
Yeah, man.
But that's the thing. There's a difference between the stand-up shit and the sit-down shit, bro. We out here to have fun. That's the agenda. My agenda is comedy.
Big facts.
You know, that's really, really what it comes down to.
Shout out to Joe Budden.
Yeah, for
Shout
real.
out to Joey, man.
Making money.
Congrats on
Go
the
get
deal,
it.
bro.
Get your deal, bro. Make it happen. Revolt.
Hey, did anybody watch college football playoff?
I did actually, and there was one part. I mean, obviously, you know, I guess Georgia and Alabama, surprise, are in the championship game. But one moment that I definitely wanted to talk about was the end of the game, where I forgot the name of the linebacker on Georgia, but
Roquan Smith.
Roquan Smith, when he was
believe.
shaking hands and Baker Mayfield shaking hands with the Georgia team, whatever. He's yelling at Baker Mayfield, "Humble yourself, humble yourself." Like, as he, like they didn't just give up 50 fucking points.
Damn.
It's like, my dude, like, bro, this guy didn't just light you guys up for 40 plus points. I'm talking about
so fucking hard, man.
Relax.
So
bro.
I thought the exact same thing.
I wanted to see Baker Mayfield and the Crimson Tide so bad.
Yo.
Dog. Like, I really wanted to see that, but.
Is that guy good? The linebacker on?
He's good.
If it's
Will
Roquan,
he make the league?
Roquan's really good.
Yeah, he'll be in that.
Yeah,
He'll definitely make the league.
First round.
But,
First round.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Pretty much a lock.
I was kind of low key hoping that he was trash.
It would have been news if it was somebody that was trash.
Because
So,
it'd be really funny when Baker Mayfield walked into One Oak and he saw him at the door and he was just like, "Humble yourself. Take that little red rope. Humble yourself and let me in. Thank you."
Yes, and I'm getting in with these shoes and this hat.
And these shorts.
We're not doing the shoes and hats today, bro.
All right, so what happens? We don't care about this. Do we care about the?
I mean, I just wanted Baker to win. I like to see.
You want some
cocky ass.
personality in it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The coaches are the most popular players in this.
Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah.
I don't even know who the Georgia's
Saban
coach is.
and some young. Apparently, is one of Saban's old assistants who coaches Georgia. So I guess that's the intrigue there. But ho hum, we know Crimson Tide's gonna win. They always win if they're in it, unless they have like some what's his face. Deshaun Watson type quarterback that they're going against, or Johnny Manziel type quarterback that they're going against. Like Georgia doesn't really have that. They have a running game. It's tailor made for the Alabama to just run them over and overwhelm them with their defense. So
Bang.
you know,
Why does a guy like Saban not coach in the NFL?
He
why
did.
not? He did. Yeah, he wasn't good.
I mean, he was all right, but then he just left, which is why I still don't like him because he just wasn't honest. Like, reporters were asking him when the Alabama job opened up, "Are you going to be interested?" And he was like, no. And then he, like, really dressed down one of the reporters, like, "I'm not interested in that job. Stop fucking asking me." And then he just left. Like, I don't even think the season had ended. Maybe that was another college coach that did that.
Where
Maybe
was
that
and
Katrina.
where was he? Where was he
coaching the
Miami
Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins. Yeah.
So, okay, let me understand this. You have these people you have these college coaches that have immense success at a collegiate level and then just can't hack it at the pro level. And then you actually have the same thing
Yeah.
the other way around,
Yeah.
right? You have certain NBA coaches or certain professional coaches that just don't have the same exact success in the NFL.
Charlie Weiss was the offensive coordinator of the Patriots and went to coach at Notre Dame, I think.
Yeah.
And then just couldn't
he
hack
had
it.
some decent years in Notre Dame,
Yeah.
and then it was just like
Super
it
arrogant.
went off the rails.
So what is it? What is the difference? What do you
More
guys
control.
think?
I think it's more control, man.
Also,
But
recruiting
meaning-
is a big thing for college
Meaning,
football.
What makes somebody such a great coach at one level and not so much at the
Well,
other? That's what I'm.
To me, I always believed that coaching college kids and coaching grown men with actual lives
Yeah.
is way different.
That's a great
you know
point.
What I'm saying? Like it's way easier to get some kids fresh out of high school and groom them
And
coach
mold
and
them.
mold
And
them.
yell at them and
into-
be
yeah.
hard on them.
It's a lot harder to do
Dudes in the
that.
pros making more than you.
Exactly. It's a lot harder to do that with a bunch of professionals that are millionaires. And
You're more replaceable than them.
facts.
in the NFL.
In the NFL, if shit goes off we were just talking about it. If shit goes off the rails, the first person has to roll is the head coach. You know what I'm saying? In college, if the shit goes bad, we got to do more recruiting. We got to do this. We got to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like
There's an out.
there's
Also,
an out.
I think recruiting is a big deal because in the draft you choose the players,
Mhm.
and recruiting in college the players choose you.
Ooh.
True.
So that's a huge
Very
deal.
true.
Being a good recruiter is a huge thing in college.
Yeah.
I can't think of the guy's name right now. This is embarrassing. Tom Herman he just went to UT. One of his biggest strengths was he's a great recruiter. You always hear that when a coach gets paid a ton of money. Jimbo Fisher, great recruiter. Pay him tens of millions of dollars to come here. I think his contract is like 5 years, $75 million, something crazy like that. And it's because of his recruiting ability.
And what does that mean?
You just go to these kids' houses and you
charm
fucking
them.
sell them. Yes, you sell them. Sell them on a dream. Sell them, you'll get them to the NFL. Sell them this. You give them some money, I'm sure.
And not
A
for
good
nothing.
amount of money on the low.
Yeah.
But they got to choose you. In the draft, you choose them.
And not for nothing, like there's a lot of programs, like Alabama being one of them, that's more prestigious than a lot of NFL jobs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you are the biggest. Like is there any pro teams in Alabama? Not really. No.
No.
They're the biggest thing going in that state. He's the highest
You
paid.
are a superstar in
He's
Alabama.
he's a superstar. He's the
Wow.
highest paid employee in the entire state of that place. And it's like, if you've been to any of these big colleges that like are just multi-million dollar making machines,
Yeah.
like why would you do that instead of and go to play for coach the Dolphins or coach like the Buffalo Bills or
Yeah.
coach some team that like, you know, you're not the Patriots, you're not the Cowboys, you're not coaching this place that has like a huge history. That's why I see why Brad Stevens left the Butler. You know what I'm saying? When he was at Butler, it's like, yeah, you're killing it at Butler, but it's like you're going to the Boston Celtics.
Right. It's
you know
a
what I'm saying? Like, it's
major. Yeah.
different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the
So
Deep South,
Yeah.
college football is bigger than pro football, I think.
Facts.
They love it more. Georgia, the Bulldogs, the whatever, they're, I think, bigger than the Falcons. Like, it just matters more. I can't explain it, but it matters more.
Yeah. Why? I never understood that. Maybe it's because I grew up in New York with like the Knicks, but
Yeah.
like I remember going through that point in time where I was deciding if I was gonna like a college team, and this is when St. John's had a couple decent years.
yeah.
Barkley, what was his name? Eric Barkley.
Yeah.
Eric Barkley was hooping there, and there's a few other guys here, and I was like, I guess I'll be a St. John's fan because I'm from New York, and that's what you do. And it didn't make sense to me. It was like,
Yeah.
well, I
Yeah.
don't go to the
I
school.
tried
My
that
dad
with
didn't
UT
go
when
to
I
the
was a
school.
kid,
Yeah,
man.
but in other parts of the country, it's completely normal if you grow up in the town of wherever Auburn is, that you, even if you didn't go to Auburn,
Mhm.
Right.
you can be an Auburn fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was kind of the
You're
same
almost
way,
expected.
man. I was kind of the same way when I was growing up. I was a huge like North Carolina Tar Heels fan.
I was
And
a
I'm
Duke
like-
fan. It was like we made a decision though, but it was.
Yeah.
But it's
But
it's,
your father
like
went there or
Kentucky.
something like that. Your
nah,
mother
nobody.
went there.
No, I just
No connection.
None at all. I was like
Jordan
like-
went there.
Jordan went there. That was my thing. Like if Jordan and Vince Carter went there, I was like, that school's awesome. They have cool jerseys. They got the cool shoes. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like they were always in the Final Four. Like I
And
like
that's
them.
part
I
of
root for
Were
them.
you like an
Recruiting,
A
that
and M
starts-
fan or some
I
shit?
tried to be a UT fan for a little bit, and I was like, if I'm not gonna go there, I'm not gonna be a fan. I felt weirdly embarrassed about it.
Yeah.
But again, you grow up in Louisiana. LSU was a big fucking deal. That's
Yeah.
the team,
Mhm.
more than the Saints even. Saints matter, but I think LSU matters more to a lot of people.
You
Facts.
know what it could also be? It's like in some of these towns, the town really is the school.
Yeah.
Like your family works for the school, even if they didn't go.
But even if you're not in Tuscaloosa, where Alabama is,
Yeah, you still
you're
do
still a massive Alabama fan in
Facts.
Huntsville or wherever.
Like if you go to Austin, Texas, you see nothing but Longhorn shit.
it. Yeah,
If you go to where's Penn State College,
yeah.
you see nothing but Penn State shit. Like I don't think people really understand how much these college towns are really towns. Like it's all that's there.
Yeah.
Like you go to, I mean, LA might be a little different because it's UCLA, but like you at USC, when USC was USC,
Yeah.
bro, they were a hotter ticket than the Lakers at some point. They were
I
a
think
hotter
it's
ticket.
still the football team of LA.
Yeah.
I lived out there for a few years, and USC was good, but it seemed like I think that's why pro teams have a hard time surviving. The
Yeah.
team is USC.
Yeah,
I guess it makes look a lot. A lot of people believe in Jesus. Not all of them are from Nazareth. So I guess it is
I'm
possible.
just a fan of Nazareth.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
just a
know.
good.
Good place.
I grew up in Bethlehem. It's right down the block. It's fun.
Oh man, fun times.
All
So
right.
Avery Bradley, did you guys hear about his little sexual assault case?
Oh boy.
No, fuck, I didn't want to
another
click.
one.
It was too much.
Well, okay. So here's the thing that was. So basically, what happens is, a girl didn't even come out. The story was leaked in some way that like there was a sexual assault, and the girl had signed a non-disclosure agreement after Avery paid her some money. So they already had an agreement that we're not going to talk about this. Whatever happened. Regardless if he did do it or he didn't do it, it doesn't matter because he came to an agreement with the girl. She wanted money.
Okay.
I imagine.
Hush money, I guess.
She wanted essentially hush money. He paid the hush money, and then later the story came out.
All speculatory, by the way.
This is alleged.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
No. Well, that part is factual.
About
The non-disclosure, and they've come out and said like this non-disclosure was not about him admitting guilt here. This was about not letting the story get leaked. And to be honest, I understand doing that because the second a story does get leaked, you're guilty in the court of public opinion. It's frightening. Like I think about that myself. Like if somebody would come to me and say, hey, you either give me this or I'm going to leak this story, and I was one of these big figures, you have to consider the options.
I heard a story that Bieber made a girl sign an NDA before. And I think that's what you do.
Oh, before he slept with her?
Yeah.
Oh, apparently Leonardo DiCaprio does that with every single girl. You come into the apartment and there's a list you got to sign.
That's crazy.
Don't talk about give me your phone.
But it's crazy, but like I get it. You know what I mean? Like
it's too much of a risk.
I think, I'm really encouraging everybody to watch the Chappelle stand up because he talks about all this shit.
Yeah.
And it's like talking about imperfect allies and like, like it's hard being a woman right now at the same time, but like you gotta understand, like you have to be a little bit more understanding and just the way he worded it. I'm not gonna word it as perfectly as he did, dude. But it's just like, dog, like. At some point in time, yes, we understand that it's hard being a woman and all this other stuff, and with Me Too, everything happening going on. But like, you gotta understand, like, there are some women who will use that to their advantage,
right?
And like to pretend that doesn't exist is only hurting the people that is really happening to.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like. Yeah, if somebody wants to have an NDA and do all this stuff to protect themselves, like they should be perfectly within their right, and they shouldn't be guilty in the court of public opinion before any real facts come out.
Yeah.
But it's so touchy and it's so hard to really articulate. Anybody who listens, I really hope you guys watch that stand up and just the way he worded it.
Let's try to watch that next week. We'll talk about it next week, man.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean. Well, basically, the thing that when I read the story, it happened in Cleveland during the Eastern Conference Finals, allegedly, and I had a feeling that it happened in Cleveland because if it happened in Boston, it wouldn't have been a sexual assault. It would just been an assault. Because, he went right up to the judge and said, "Your Honor, there is nothing sexual about this. This happened in Boston, and the girls here are gross." But apparently it did happen in Cleveland, and it's just one of these things where it's like I wonder if athletes should start sharing what they go through with women, because I think that they've been very polite athletes.
Okay.
Athletes don't really share the side
a Me Too sports page
of well they don't really share this like their side of a Me Too, which is. I slept with this girl, and then she took a roofie after I slept with her. This happens all the time. I've spoken to like athletes' lawyers. Yeah. They take a roofie after, and they'd be like, "You roofied me." What do you mean? What are you talking about? We didn't even drink tonight. There's no way to like. So these are things that are constantly happening to athletes. Girls will find out their hotel room, sneak their way into the hotel.
Yep. Sleep
with the guy at the hotel desk just so her and her friend could get let up to the hotel room, knocking on the door. Hey, can I come in? Like the intense, like I don't want to say they're victims, but what I'm saying is there are a certain amount of women that are hunting these athletes, and this is a real thing that happens. They're taking advantage of them,
and we're not trying. And I understand that we're probably not trying to. You're not trying to victim blame. We're not trying to like say it's
not
anybody's fault at all. But like I just think. We will be doing ourselves a disservice if we're not acknowledging that this shit exists.
It exists in the world, and there's nuance to every situation.
Exactly.
Every single situation. So, for example, and I'm not justifying anything, but if you have an athlete who is used to women literally throwing themselves at him, right? It's not surprising that he might feel like women do want to be with him. Very similar to when Kesha tried to hug Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Right? Kesha said, "Hey, can I hug you?" And just went in,
thanks.
didn't even ask. He said, "No, thanks." And then she went again. Now, this is because for the last probably 15 years of Kesha's life,
everyone's just like
anybody that she wanted to hug,
she got to hug.
would have hugged her back.
Yeah.
So imagine you're an NBA athlete and you see a girl at a bar or something like that, or they're at the table, and you just walk up and you just put your arm around her, or you put your arm on her knee, hey, how you doing, or something like that. Not even sexually or anything like that. To that girl, that might be like, why do you think you can do that? But you have to realize every girl that this guy's met for the last, not him personally, but a hypothetical athlete have met for the last 5 years has been begging for him to touch.
It still doesn't make
warps.
it right.
I'm not saying, listen, again, we're not talking about justifications, but we're talking about, like, you know when dictators start to act funky? Like, every dictator starts out good, right? With the right idea. No dictator goes, I want to be a bad guy. You know what I mean? Everybody has the good intentions planned for the people, but then you live a life where that is so different than us that we can understand. We're talking about big marquee athletes here.
Yeah.
It's a very different existence. And like you said, without acknowledging it and totally understanding what these people go through, what they're constantly going through it all the time. Like you and I and Akaash, we're on social media. We have girls send naked pictures to us. We're not max contract athletes. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a different world for these guys.
It's not about what's right or what's wrong. It's just like
just acknowledging that these things exist,
and
that's
then maybe knowing that you can talk
to
to them differently about how to approach women in general. Like, yo, I know some girls do this, but you can't do that to every girl, or whatever it is. You can use that as a tool, is what you're going to say.
And the worst thing about it is, like, I think a lot of these athletes, they don't understand that. They don't understand that until it's too late. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's probably why. You mentioned before they can't have like their own version of a Me Too where they tell the story because they don't know the story.
They don't know what's going on.
Like they don't know that this is happening to them until it's too late. Whereas like now they got to be reactive instead of proactive. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like it. I'm not saying
most
there aren't.
athletes. Here's an interesting.
You're not
thing.
blaming victims.
And
listen, let's make that very clear. And I think everybody who listens to this podcast kind of understands who we are and our sensibility, and they know that that's not what we're about right here. Well, all I'm trying to say is, imagine that you have girls knocking on your hotel room door at 5 a.m. that you've never met, trying to come in. Every girl that's ever come back to your hotel room as an athlete, right, or even an entertainer or something like that, has had sex with you, tried to have sex with you, etc., had brought their friends that had sex with you. This happens. And then you have a girl or two in your hotel room, right? And you get naked because you're like, yo, I thought we're having sex. And they're like, what are you doing? We're just hanging out. Now you're the weirdo? Or you've been conditioned to think that's what happens at 5 a.m. in your hotel?
The way I would think to put it is like Macaulay Culkin is got a fucked perception of things, right? Because he grew up as the most famous 8-year-old in the world at one point in his life.
Right.
Now, that doesn't make anything illegal he does okay. You just kind of understand he got fucked up from a young age. And an athlete's the same kind of thing. Like, from a young age, girls have been trying to fuck this guy. He's had money thrown at him. He's had people with not his best interest in mind. So nothing he does is illegal is okay, but he's lived a different life than the rest
Absolutely. Of us. And we acknowledge this on some level. Like, for example, George Clooney and Brad Pitt can be way more flirtatious than fucking Paul Giamatti.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you can. Paul Giamatti gets a little flirtatious, and all of a sudden, maybe it's creepy. Brad Pitt and George Clooney are so charming.
Yeah, it's charm when somebody attractive.
Right? Like, it's just, and we'd like to paint everything as if it's the exact same slate, but the reality is not.
I think we just got to acknowledge, especially when it comes to these athletes or these people of influence, that there is nuance to everything.
Everything.
Not everything is black and white. It still doesn't make what any of these people do right or wrong, but we just need to acknowledge that there are certain circumstances that make things different than other things. Like, yeah, okay, Matt Lauer, he had a fucking rape door in his room. Like, he had a button that he would press and okay, that's a bit much, Matt Lauer. You don't need the fucking rape door.
First of all, work for some pussy. Just walk to the door and lock it, you lazy fuck. That's what bothers me the most. You're about to come.
It's like
you can't take 6 steps.
Like, really? And like the nuances and like the
literally Dr. Evil has the exact same thing on his desk.
Dog, like, that is too fucking much. Like, relax. But it's
But how crazy is it we're even uncomfortable talking
about like because I know it's gonna happen.
You know the cost.
I know the cost.
There's we tax conversation now. There is a cost to even converse about this.
Yeah.
We're just throwing ideas out there in the world. None of these ideas right now are the end all be all.
Yeah.
But in order to find solutions to a problem, you have to, one, be able to acknowledge it, and two, be able to discuss it. You know what I mean? And if we can't even discuss it because we're so worried that one person is I can't believe that in this sentence, if you take it out of context, he said that victims, blah, 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 blah.
The funny thing is, if we don't sit there and acknowledge it, something worse happens. You know what I mean? Like, it's always, because for every action, there's a reaction. You hear that a million times in whatever you talk about. But if people are afraid to acknowledge certain nuances about certain situations, there's going to be that one person that comes back later, maybe not now, maybe not in a year or two, that doesn't give a fuck about that. And that person is worse than all these motherfuckers.
Trump.
You know, that's how Trump happens.
Boom.
That is how Trump happens, dog. It's like, oh, we thought Bush was bad. Look at this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just about just putting it out there and just living in truth and just just acknowledge that there is nuance to every single situation. Not everybody is fucking just good or bad or evil or not. Like, it's just a conversation, and I just hope that we can be a little less, afraid to have conversation.
Sure.
In this,
let's be objective.
Coming here, that's what Flagrant 2 is all about. God damn it.
Is rape?
Not rape.
Oh.
It's not about rape. It's about having uncomfortable conversation.
Exactly. Honestly,
God damn it.
Every little thing, every program that I'm on, that I consider myself a part of, I want to have that exact. I want to have that exact almost mission statement, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's have this freedom to have conversations. I tend to surround myself with pretty objective people, right?
Yeah.
Like, people I can have hard conversations with. I don't like to stifle myself. And I do admit that it is tough when you have an audience. You have thousands of people. There's going to be some people that get offended.
And the one person that gets offended sticks with you more than the people who... It's human nature.
It takes one person.
The one, how dare you say this? You're like, yo, am I that? This is a character. Fuck. They really assassinate your character and it fucks with you. But yeah.
Just know nobody is getting raped or sexually assaulted because of a conversation. That doesn't happen. Okay, nobody goes, oh, I like what they were talking about, I'm going to go do that. Nobody hears a joke and goes, oh, that was a joke about rape, I'm going to go rape.
Right.
Those people that do those things do them independently from the podcast that they listen to or the conversations that they have. So we have these conversations, and hopefully everybody lives in a more safe environment.
It's one of those things where, like, if you listen to this show and you think it's okay to, like, touch people inappropriately because you heard us say a joke, this show isn't for you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, and you thought that before this show.
Yeah,
let's keep it very
before the
real.
fucking show.
You had some issues
We call that
before
confirmation bias.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
All right,
100%.
let's talk. We haven't talked playoffs yet at all. NFL playoffs.
God damn.
We're an hour and a half in. We're finally getting the NFL playoffs.
All right, go.
Who do y'all just want to pick winners, or what you think? Who you think is going to make it out each round? Also, who you think deserves MVPs, Rookie of the Year?
I got a good feeling about the Steelers. I think the Steelers are due.
I had a good feeling about the Steelers too. I think that loss in New England really hurt them.
Yeah,
because going to New England is going to be tough.
Is AB
I don't
playing?
think so. I don't think so. It's usually. You ever notice?
He'll be back for that game. I bet.
I think AB will be back for first week of the playoffs. But when the Patriots lose, it's always to a team that they beat earlier in the year.
Interesting.
Like, usually, like, late in the week, like late in the season. Like, I remember both Giants Super Bowl victories. They beat the Giants earlier that season. You know what I'm saying? And they always come back.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like they mashed them or whatever. Like, it was like, oh, it was competitive.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, if they get to and mind you, it might be different because, like, it's two different divisions, and it won't be on a neutral playing field if they play each other again. It'll be in Foxborough.
Right.
But I don't think Foxborough is the fucking you're not winning in here place it used to be. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when you have a offense like the Steelers and the defense like the Patriots, which isn't super, demanding like it used to be. It's not as dominant as it used to be. But like I believe like a guy like Juju, I think a healthy AB, Le'Veon Bell, they're starting to run him more and use him in more stuff like they should have been last year when they played the Patriots and they should have beat them. I think the Steelers are due, man. This is one Patriots team that hasn't scared me like past Patriots teams.
Right.
Like, they look good, but they're not like dominant. They're not like, they don't scare me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I think I thought that last year too, though.
And then exactly.
Did Harrison get signed to be a snitch?
Yes, 100%.
Would he do it?
Yes, 100%.
Really?
Yo, apparently this guy was like, he wrote a letter that I haven't read telling his side of the story, but he was like falling asleep and snoring during team meetings. He was really upset they didn't have him starting. Salty about that. And he's like, he said something in a statement that I saw a clip of, like, I don't want to play to get a participation trophy. Put
Right.
me on the field or just don't have me on your team. He
Yeah.
wanted off the Steelers. And when he got off and the Patriots signed him, I'm positive he knew what he was getting into, and I'm positive he's okay with
So
that.
what do they do? Do they just flat out say, "Hey, tell us the plays, tell us the defensive schemes"? What are the ethics to that?
This is
What
what
are
the Patriots do, and there are no ethics. They
There are no
always find
ethics, yeah.
the space where there are
Like,
no
you're looking
ethics,
for the
and they
Patriots have
exploit that.
ethics now? After all this time,
I'm
like
just saying,
now the
like-
Patriots are gonna be the beacon of doing the right thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm not
Oh,
saying that
yeah.
they do that, but like I'm just concerned. Like, should the Steelers be concerned? Like, you have a playbook that now can be handed over
Mm.
to the Patriots. How can you possibly
And
beat
he's been
the
on the team
Patriots?
for 15 years or whatever. Like, he
Yeah.
knows. He's not some guy that just got there. He knows the system.
So how do the Steelers
I
have
don't
a
think
chance?
I don't think it's a plays thing, man. Like I think it's when you play a team as much as you play each other, like you know what the other
you know the
team
place.
does.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a personnel thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's more of like I was lifting with this dude every week. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not this, he's not that. Like I think they got him more for personnel, not for like
Who's injured? Who's working?
Yeah, like who's real like you know what I'm saying? He's literally just been sitting there collecting dust all season. Like he's been in many cases like probably a mole for them right now. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not really
Oh
he didn't
my
really play a
God.
lot of teams. Like, you know, he's and that's what gives you that edge. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what gives you the edge in the NFL.
That's why the
when
Patriots
team
are
is so
great,
close.
man. I don't hate
Yeah.
on it. That's what makes them great.
It's illegal. They didn't do nothing illegal.
They're like the businessman who always finds the legal way to make billions of dollars. And they might get in the gray area of illegality or whatever, but they're always winning in corporate
It
America.
makes a lawyer just
That's
go,
Belichick.
we
Yeah.
think-
They'll win legally, but not ethically.
Yeah,
There you go.
exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
MVPs,
Jesus.
NFL.
Oh
you got?
man, come on.
You know how I said it earlier, and I think I'm sticking with it. They didn't make the playoffs. There's no way he wins, but Russell Wilson, to me, he
Yeah.
carried that fucking team.
I mean,
He
they even
did.
carried him to what?
He did.
True. You going Brady?
I do think he was the most valuable, but I don't. They can't give it to a guy. Who doesn't
Yeah.
go.
It's
Yeah.
got to be
It's gotta
Brady
be- yeah, I mean,
or
it's fair.
AB. I mean,
I would have been
AB.
mad at AB.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
He
too.
would be the first wide receiver to win it, right? Isn't that what they were saying?
Yeah, nah, would he? Maybe.
He might be.
I don't know.
He might be.
Oh
I-
no, or was it Todd Gurley? Would be the
Todd
first
Gurley.
running back to win it. One of them would be the first in their position.
Todd
to
Gurley's
win
also
it.
a possibility.
Gurley's a
Apparently, it's
possibility.
really down to him and Brady.
And
That's
Brady.
really the two it's coming down to.
Put it this way: are we doing the same thing with the NBA MVP award? Are we looking for someone else to give it to because
Yeah.
what is it? The fatigue, the
Yeah,
MVP
we got voter
fatigue.
fatigue, man.
We got voter fatigue. Clearly, it's Brady.
Yeah.
They're the team to beat. He's playing phenomenally.
I think it kind of fell into his hands because I think like Carson once had it sewed up before he got hurt.
Yo.
You know what I mean? I think I think Carson Wentz still leads the league in touchdowns. He hasn't played in 4
My man
weeks.
tore his ACL and then
You
threw a
know?
touchdown.
Yeah.
Yo, he threw as many touchdowns after he tore his ACL as Dak did from that same moment. How crazy that
That's
is.
a crazy stat. That's a real stat though. Yeah, man. I think
That's
fuck
sad.
it. I think let's just give it to Carson Wentz. Fuck it.
Wow.
Why not?
I
Not?
mean, I'm gonna go Brady probably. Gurley is up there, but I just think, well, I gotta look up Brady's exact stats. I'm gonna do that
Yeah.
right now, but his stats are obnoxious.
Yeah.
Just obnoxious.
Yeah.
Who you got going to the?
What
in the
about
NFC?
Gronk?
Gronk.
I
I
think
read a lot
Bleacher-
about that.
So Bleacher, I think, put it
Bleacher
out
did a
with
story.
Sims, right?
Yeah.
And maybe you can give more detail.
Yeah, they
than I
said
can.
Brady's not the real MVP. They said Gronk is. Like,
Yeah.
Gronk is the guy who's really carried that team.
And they
Like,
broke it down statistically, right?
Yeah.
It was something about like Brady's offensive efficiency without Gronk.
Yeah, it absolutely just Gronk's presence
normal.
on the field is only comparable to AB's as
Right.
far as like when he's on the field, the gravity. I guess that's like the hot word to use. the gravity that you have in the game. Whereas, like, even if you're not catching the ball,
motherfuckers are drawn to you.
you are clearing the spots for fucking like Rex Burkhead to have fucking career seasons. And what's the guy that got Brandon Cooks?
Yeah.
And like Brandon Cooks ain't no scrub, but it's like you have a tight end that's dominant, that big, that blocks, that does everything for you, that scores, that leads the league in touchdowns or one of the league leaders in touchdowns every year. Like he's one of the biggest reasons why Brady's playing deep into his 40s. You know what I mean? Like, he is the safety blanket. Everybody's quarterback, everybody's safety blanket is the tight end. And if you have the best tight end by far in the NFL, like, and it's not close, you're going to be good. You give me an offensive line and a pass-catching tight end that's always going to be on single coverage. And you can't double-team a tight end because if you double-team a tight end,
bye,
I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got guys on the outside that are wide open to get in single coverage, and Brady's going to get it to
that's
you.
the other thing. Brady is accurate enough to get.
Yeah, so it's, Gronk's got a case as well as being MVP. So
why not throw that Gronk?
He can't after the
Oh, the intentional.
After hitting somebody with the Chris Benoit headbutt.
My man a little crazy.
I'm like, dog, you can't do that, bro. Like, you get him on the field, you can't just fucking spear your head into somebody's skull.
That was a little dangerous.
That's a little frowned upon, even in the NFL. Like, they're like,
All right, fucking, I'm gonna give it to Gronk.
All right, good on you.
You got Brady.
Yeah, I think.
And then you got
Brady.
who?
I'm still giving it to Carson Wentz. Fuck it, because fuck Brady.
Right,
Carson Wentz. Okay, here's my question. Akaash told me right before we started recording this podcast.
Real quick though, Super Bowl.
Oh yes, sorry. Go.
Super Bowl.
Go. Oh,
I don't know. I think it's gonna be Patriots and Vikings.
That's my pick too.
I think the Vikings,
Steelers,
and
Vikings.
I think the Vikings could win that because first of all, they got a defense that can get to Brady, and that's the thing that fucks him up the most. Second of all, if they go to the Super Bowl, it's a home game. For the first time in history.
I forgot.
It's
a
Super Bowl's
in
game.
Minnesota?
In Minnesota.
Damn, I
We
forgot.
trying to go there. Who's sending us?
They can have
Who's
it.
sending us,
They
baby?
can have
Nah,
it.
man, that's shit. I forgot this is a Minnesota dude.
It would be
and
so
Case Keenum
dope
is
to see.
quietly
And Case,
balling this
it's
entire.
pretty similar to the Giants' blueprint.
Yeah.
Great defense,
Good enough quarterback.
good enough quarterback.
Yeah.
Not gonna make it. Well, Eli will make costly interceptions, but he's a good enough quarterback. Strong run game, and by the way, they've lost their starting and backup quarterback. I think they lost their rookie running back because Dalvin Cook was having a great year. He went down,
Right.
and they're still 14-2, 13-3, whatever it was.
Defense, baby.
Defense and
Wins
just
championships.
resilience. Mike Zimmer's a beast. He's coach of the year to me.
Quiet.
Yeah.
Quiet 13-2 record.
Yeah.
Defense wins championships, man. I got the. Now I like that Vikings pick, man. I'm gonna go Vikings Steelers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Vikings Steelers. I don't think they'll be good enough to win at home. I think the Steelers take it. I think this
NFC playoffs are also much more competitive than AFC playoffs in terms
Oh,
of
you know
top to
what?
bottom. Every team, Carolina could do it, and they're like the 5
I
seed.
like the Rams too, man.
Rams look good.
like the
Saints look good.
Rams.
Falcons are the defending champs, so you can't really count them out.
Yeah.
All, 1 through
Panthers-
6,
Panthers
all
are
of them
turning
got a
up right
shot.
now.
Yeah.
Like I like the Saints. Like it's a loaded.
That's
NFC.
right, the Saints. We're completely
got-
forgetting about the Saints.
Yeah, I remember week 3. I made fun of how they draft, and they have the defensive and offensive rookie of the year
Yeah.
right
Kamala?
Yeah.
Is
now.
that-
Alvin Kamara. Yeah.
Kamara,
Kamara.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Marcus
think it's between
Lattimore.
like him and Juju for rookie of the year.
Yeah,
to
could
me.
be.
You know,
I think Kamara gonna get it, but yeah, it's either
Yeah.
one of them. I think they could have both.
it's crazy.
So, and they got a
Shows
a
how
running
much we know.
running game. They got a defense. Yeah, exactly. Right.
We should do at the end of the year a list of all the things
All
we
the
got
wrong
about.
shit.
Exactly.
That's a lot of
no
research.
other sports
Yeah.
show does that shit.
You gotta own it, man.
We're gonna
gotta
own
own it.
all of our wrongs. Like when we called Chris Paul the what's it called of the NBA earlier in the year?
God. We killed Chris. Oh, another person who we killed.
The French Montana.
French
the French
Montana.
Montana NBA. That was it. Now the motherfucker is undefeated
Oh
when
my
he's
God.
playing. Yeah.
Speaking of somebody we were wrong about,
Who?
Motherfucking our favorite player in the NBA, Austin Rivers.
Yo, Austin Rivers been
Yeah,
cooking.
but thanks
that's
to
on
us.
us.
That's
though.
thanks- that's
That's
thanks
on
to
us.
us.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Thanks to us.
100% facts.
Yeah.
That's super
Who you got in the
facts
Super
right there.
Bowl?
Patriots. Patriots in the Super Bowl, easy, and I just really don't care. But I'm excited to go, and I think it'll be a great experience.
Yeah.
NFC. Who you got in the NFC?
I don't even know who's in that shit. Cleveland. I got Cleveland. I got Cleveland. So No, I guess it would be. I guess I don't. The Vikings. I honestly haven't been watching enough to like give you a good response on it. But like, yeah, sure.
All right, bet.
Fuck it.
Fair enough.
All right, man.
Sure, Viking. Look, here's one thing that I will like to talk about football before we get out of here. So Cleveland goes. A lot of coaches got fired just right now.
Yeah.
Or retired. Maybe they were forced to retire. But we're talking about like what 4 or 5. Fox is out for
Bruce
Chicago.
Arians is out.
Yeah.
Bruce Arians retired, but maybe he was asked
like,
to
hey,
retire.
Pagano
do his
overdue firing.
Pagano's gone.
Motherfucker need to get cancer again to get into the job.
Jesus
God
So
damn.
weird. I'm not wishing it upon him. I'm just saying
I mean,
his.
it's hard to win without your
us.
franchise quarterback.
Save
And
us.
his shitty.
I'm not saying he should have it. I'm just saying the best season they had, he got cancer, stepped away. Bruce Arians stepped in,
And then they were cooking.
and they were cooking.
Yeah.
Well, who else? There was another major one that I'm
Giants, I guess,
forgetting.
What's the guy's?
Oh,
Jack Del
McAdoo
Rio
got
got
fired.
yeah.
Del Rio gets fired. I mean, like all over the place.
Yeah.
Cleveland
got fired.
goes 0
16.
for
0 and
16
Second time.
in history that's happened.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Goes 0 for 16. Hugh Jackson still has a job. Where is the justification for keeping him?
They're Sam Hinkie. The Browns are
Trust the process.
the Browns are trusting the process. Real talk. They hoarded draft picks. They literally
They got the
said,
first and the fourth pick this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
that's
number
good
1
enough.
and number 4, and then I think they got 2 second rounders, maybe 3.
Yeah.
They literally said to Houston last year when they signed, who's the quarterback from the fucking Broncos that they signed?
Brock Osweiler.
Brock
Osweiler,
Osweiler.
yeah, yeah.
They signed him with that horrendous contract. They said trade that contract to us, just give us a second round pick. Took him. They cut him. They don't care. They got their second round pick from the Houston Texans.
So I mean, it's. I don't
So-
think the Browns are that far off, man.
So they basically told Hugh Jackson, hey, you're going to lose this year.
Yeah.
We're not going to blame you.
Yeah.
Right.
Next year is your shot, and we'll judge you based on
Maybe-
what you do with some talent.
Next year, maybe the year after, because you got to give those rookies time to develop into something.
So they're committed to Hugh.
I guess so.
Yeah, I think they're trusting the process, man.
Yeah.
I
Because
think
they weren't getting really like hammered by teams. They lost a couple
Close games, but for the
They got
most part,
Josh
they were
Gordon
getting
back.
fucked.
Josh Gordon's just as good as he left, which is
guy's unbelievable.
amazing to
Insane.
me.
Insane.
Unbelievable. Yeah,
They
yeah.
got the Saquon Barkley's out there. Josh Rosen's out there. You got the first and the
you're
fourth.
getting
pick.
you're getting
you're
your
gonna get
franchise
better.
quarterback.
You're gonna get
Whether or
better.
not he's gonna be good, I don't
They've
know.
had their franchise quarterback for like the last
No,
4
absolutely.
years.
It's the Browns are gonna brown. They're the Clippers of the NFL. But this is the route they went with. They hired analytics dudes who just said we want draft picks. That's what leads to wins. Draft
Oh,
picks.
okay.
So they just hoarded draft picks for those 2 years. They had a bunch of draft picks last year, a bunch of draft picks this year that are even better.
Right.
And let's see what happens. Now I think in 2 years it's gonna be like, all right, we need to see something for real.
All right.
Let's
Fair
see.
enough. I just didn't understand where they got off keeping
Now
this coach
let me ask
around.
you this: the Raiders are about to make an offer. They fired Del Rio, about to make an offer to John Gruden.
That's right. Yes.
Reported they might offer him ownership stake.
That changes the game for
Would change the one thing. So let's assume for a second, because it has to get approved by the other owners.
which they'll definitely say no.
But yeah, I think they'll definitely say no because that's an insane precedent to set. But if they didn't, well, how much are you throwing at Belichick?
I mean, that's. So, 2 questions. One, you just got to throw the house at Belichick, right?
10%
He
would
gets
be
whatever he
if you're the
wants.
Cowboys,
Mhm.
$400 million.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
But here's the question: when you get fired, what happens?
I don't think it goes away.
So now, how many times can you offer a percentage to a coach?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. The Raiders are doing this because they're moving to Las Vegas and they're trying to just generate some kind of interest.
Yeah.
Same reason the Rams traded for the number 1 pick and drafted Jared Goff because
Mhm.
he's an LA guy. Let's just let's get some interest.
Mhm.
And going to Vegas, you need some kind of something. But I don't. Yeah, you got to really do it carefully.
I don't know, man.
I don't think so. I don't think the
know.
other coaches. I don't think the other owners will go for it. Why would you give?
I don't think
piece
they
of
would.
equity?
If they
It's-
did, it would be really interesting the rest of our NFL lives.
Oh,
is
true.
Gruden that good to where you give him a piece?
I don't think he's
I don't
that
think he
good.
is, honestly.
I don't know how great he is, to be honest.
He's a good face. He's a good face if that's what you want.
Yeah.
You know, to want to put his face on the billboard in Vegas.
Oakland's last Super Bowl run was his team, though.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
he went and took Tony Dungy's team and then beat that Oakland team in the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And he's had those ESPN joints, those Gruden camps all.
Love that. Those are
which is
great.
Really
Yeah.
good, and you know he's he's one of the few, like, not for nothing, like, he's one of the few NFL coaches, like, immediately by face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's a name, man. So I could see them doing that, but it'll be really interesting to see how other NFL coaches, treat us. Just like quarterbacks. Like, they see what a good quarterback gets. It's like, oh, okay,
That's
what
what
I'm
I
in the
need
market
now.
for.
Yeah. It's
so-
a dangerous precedent. There's no way owners only care about money right now.
Facts.
I
think
mean,
they've proven that.
if that's the case for the coach, what about the player? If I'm LeBron, I want a piece.
LeBron deserves to own a piece of the Cavaliers, goddamn it.
Of course.
He deserves, but anyway, man.
All right, guys. That was fun.
Before we wrap it up, I think we'd be remiss to say, rest in peace to the legendary Reggie
Oh, my
Singh,
God, of course.
Combat Jack,
Yes.
one of the founders of Loudspeakers Network, one of my mentors growing up. Really, really big gut punch to everybody in the city this year to lose him. So, shout out to his family, shout out to his kids, his wife, Kim. New York really lost a real legend, and this one's dedicated to him. So, like he would always say, dream those dreams, and because life isn't technicolor and surround sound. So, life without dreams isn't black or white. I probably fucked up that quote, but hopefully he'll forgive me.
Nah, you got
And real sad. It was a real tough holiday season to have to go through that. So we'll continue to do this for you, Combat, and thanks for creating this network that we host this podcast under. So
Yes, sir.
shout outs to you.
Well done. Thank you guys so much for listening. Is there anything you guys want to plug?
Oh man, no,
good
it's a
for
new
now.
year.
Yeah.
We'll have something to plug soon. We got a show. Shit, Highline Ballroom.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
do have a show.
What's the date of it?
It's February 7th. Highline Ballroom. Get your tickets on ticketweb.com, highlineballroom.com. Let's pack that bitch out with all the assholes in New York City.
That's right.
We got a lot of surprises for that as well. And we'll have something big to announce fairly soon. So
Yeah, we're excited. We're excited about some things to announce. Akaash, you got a...
Nah, go to the live show. Go get the tickets right now. That's what
get
I'm
them
plugging.
tickets, baby.
I gotta go to. I have a couple shows coming up that I have to reschedule. There were ones in Rochester and DC because I'm gonna go shoot a film in.
congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, in Pittsburgh. I'm gonna be in Pittsburgh, so maybe I'll try to. Yeah, maybe Pittsburgh would have home field advantage, right?
Unless,
Mhm.
the first round, divisional round,
All right.
or like.
But
check
yeah.
that out.
So if there's any fans in Pittsburgh, man, holler at me. Let me know what I should be doing out there because I'll be out there for a few weeks in January. So holler. And then we'll reschedule the DC and Rochester dates. But the rest of my dates are available at theandrewschultz.com for my stand-up shows. So make sure you go check that out. We just add some more. And thank you guys for supporting, man. This is Flagrant 2, No Easy Buckets. And we'll see you next week. Peace.
Later.
Bless.